Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the second day of Aimchess Rapid. This is your host Sagar Shah, and today it's the second day. Before we begin our stream, let's have a look at the standings to see who's leading the tournament. Right now it's Nodirbek Abdusattorov on top spot. Look at the points on the right of your screen, guys. 10 points for him out of 12. Mamidyaro on 7, Magnus on 7, Duda on 7, Vincent on 7, and Rapport on 7. But Gukesh is on 6, Vidit on 6. Sorry, Vidit on 5, Arjun on 5, Aditya Mittal on 5, and Harikrishna on 2. Today we'll have 4 rounds. So let's get it cracking with the first game, that is Gukesh versus Arjun, Gukesh versus Harikrishna. Let's have them on the screen. Two Indians fighting out against each other. Let's get it started, guys. And can you hear me well? I was at the chess club today and it was epic because we unboxed 1 million wala golden play button. It was great fun to be there. And stream started, guys. Stream started. Fix mic. अरे fix mic क्या है दोस्तों? Fix mic. All good. All good. Okay, let's look at this line. Gukesh opens with d4 here. d5, c4, c6. Guys, what's the name of this opening? Anyone here can tell me what is the name of this system that has been played on the board? Yes, Slav. Exactly. Slav is the opening that has been played. Not Karo Khan, guys. Karo Khan, matlab this pawn would have been behind and this pawn would have been in front. So this is known as the Slav opening, and Harikrishna goes for the very ancient line, sort of, because this used to be played many years ago. Knight e5 here, knight d7, he takes and now plays queen to c7. His idea is to play e5 on the board. So Gukesh now, of course, he's made his moves. 1 second. Yeah. Queen c7. Then what were the next moves? 1 second. Yeah, here we have g3, main line, e5, takes. And guys, how do you now not move this knight? Because it's attacked, you don't want to move the knight. What's the move here that white can play? White to move. Anyone? Gurkirat Singh Anand says, so glad to see Biswa play at the club today. Are Biswa is full on preparing for COB and he's going to really crush his opposition. And preparing still very hard. Guys, secret prep going on. And knight takes e5 has been played. Yes, bishop f4, guys. This is the correct move. And there you have it. Bishop f4 on the board. And that was suggested by Akshaj, Haripriya, Revant, Pranshu, Ajay, Aryan, Vijay, Mayank, Devan, Shaunak. Well done. So, Bishop f4 played on the board. And now, the next move that was played was Knight f d7, Bishop g2, and g5. Gurkirat says, I would be glad to see him finally win a COB. And OTB would be just ekdam mast. Yes, everyone's waiting for Biswa to win COB because he was very close last time when he almost had won that finals. But in the end, and maybe this is the one that he would win. But knight e3 played. Now look at this move. You take this bishop. The idea of g5 is very simple. If you take here, you're going to lose your knight. The pin will be broken. So that's why either you take on e5, or you take with the knight, or you move the knight, attacking this bishop now. Takes, knight takes f5, long castle, queen to c2 played. This is all theory, guys. King b8, okay? And now Gukesh thinking here. Gukesh has been thinking after king b8. He's down to 14 minutes 36 seconds. And Harikrishna well prepared. Look at Hari's focus there, guys. Amazing focus. Mayur Gupta says, today I said all the best to Gukesh and he liked my comment. Oh, nice. Nice. Well, Gukesh generally is not looking at his social media during events, but I think it must be his dad, Rajnikant, who would have done that. And, generally all these players very, very connected to all that is happening, if not during the event, then after the event. So please do keep sending your best wishes to them, because it motivates them. Question here by Vikas Jha: did Vidit just blunder? Oh my god, did Vidit just blunder? Let's have a look at that game. Vidit Gujarati is taking on Abdusattorov, who's drinking his tea. They're looking very relaxed. King f1 played by Gukesh. Will come back here. So not at all, guys. Vidit's position looks completely fine. c4, e6, knight c3, d5. We have the queen's gambit declined on the board. Vidit takes bishop g5, c6, e3, h6, bishop h4. This seems to be the new line that's being played. Knight e2, rook e8, castles, and now here a4 had been Vidit's idea after knight bd7. If you remember, he played this against someone at the European Club Cup. So here after a5 played by Naroditsky, Vidit goes rook c1, knight d7, f3 with the plan of going e4 at the right moment, b5 on the board, bishop f2, knight b6. Whoa. Knight to g3, knight c4, and now bishop takes c4. Ooh. Vidit actually did not really choose the best move here, because he could have gone queen c2 with the idea of b3 later, giving up his bishop for this knight. Perhaps not the best idea. Naroditsky, instead of taking with the b pawn, takes with the d pawn, which allows Vidit. Vidit says, I'm now the center on the board. Now I'm going to push forward. Bishop f8 played, queen to c2, and this looks very nice for white. And joining us in the commentary room is Biswa Kalyanrat. Biswa, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great because I'm leaving your house.
Biswa, two questions. How was your practice at the chess club?
What's the second question?
Second question is, how are you feeling for COB?
Practice was very bad. Basically, छोटे छोटे बच्चे आके बहुत हरा के गए, तो मजा आया. और how I'm feeling for COTB? COTB, I'm feeling not feeling anything yet. I think as it comes closer, I'll start feeling.
Do you feel like you want to win? ऐसा एक feeling है अंदर, या ऐसा भी like you have been okay now, lockdown has ended, chess वैक सब खत्म?
No, I want to win. But this over the board thing is like, if it is online, it will be much stronger desire to win, because I'm very comfortable with online.
But don't you think you have an edge over the board, because now you started already practicing over the board while others haven't?
क्या है, एक दिन में कर लेंगे वो लोग, ऐसा कोई क्या है. But yeah, over the board में I think my ELO rating drops by 500.
500?
Yeah, I can't see anything.
I don't think 500.
हाँ, मतलब थोड़ा 100 type. थोड़ा exaggeration होता है ना comedy.
What do you think about Vidit's position?
What do I think of
Vidit is playing with the white pieces against Naroditsky, and look at his structure here. And look at what Naroditsky has done. And by the way, this is the d4 opening. It was the queen's gambit declined.
Wow.
So what do you think here are black's trumps and what are white's trumps according to you?
I think white has better pawn structure, and
Center control, yeah.
yeah, black has more space.
No, I mean white space is pretty good.
Okay.
What black has is bishop pair.
Okay. Got it.
So as white, what move would you think of playing? Let's not look at this, just think the board. What would you do?
Uh, got it.
Guys, you can also think what should be done here.
Okay, I think e5 looks natural, but
What a move! And why did you choose e5 and not d5 break?
because it undoubles his pawns.
Exactly, d5 is also possible. It looks great because when you take, now after knight d5 you have unleashed the bishop. Knight is also looking at all these squares. Rook has opened up against the queen. So here, yes, positionally not the best, but by activity really good move. But e5 is more static in nature. You want to go knight e4, f4, f5, and you want to just attack if you can get f6. So with it looking very, very strong in this position.
But his bishop on f2 is bad, no? It's
Yes,
not bad, it's supporting the center.
it's supporting this pawn, and at future, very likely that the bishop could come out from here if needed.
Understood.
So, but with it actually has played the move. Oh, d5 on the
Wow.
board. He's pushed in, and with it now very important for Naroditsky not to take, because if he takes, this is over. Very powerful position here. Also knight b6 in the air. So what should black do here is the question.
b4.
b4 if played, then I think you will do an intermezzo, taking here, attacking the queen, and then put the knight on d5. So that could be one way to play, like here. And okay, it's still a position, but it's a nice knight in the center.
Okay.
But b4, yes, one of the maybe important moves, or queen c7 could be played just to remove the queen. Let's have a look very quickly at Gukesh's game. Very interesting position. What would you say is happening here?
Wow, what is happening? He has castle queenside.
Yes, black has castle queenside. Hari has castle queenside.
Huh? Who has castle?
Hari is black. Gukesh is white.
Okay.
So one question is, what is white's trump card here?
Sorry, ये king को f1 पे लेके गया ऐसे ही.
He just moved it here because his rook is open. So in this position, instead of castling here and then black attacking like this, he said, let me just keep my king safe here. It is safe, and I'll keep this. And he's played this.
I think white has that annoying knight on.
Very, very well said. And it cannot be kicked away by either of the pawns because they don't exist. And what is a weakness in black's camp? Big weakness.
This f6.
F6, F7 pawn,
And that
H
b6,
pawn,
b6
and B6 square. And this H pawn is a big weakness. So at some point the rook can come here and start attacking this. So I like white's position positionally, fundamental, because his structure is very good. These pawns are all together, 2 islands. Black has 3 islands. But I think the main problem is his king. It doesn't look very strong.
Purposely, yeah.
He brought his knight back. But he's coming to the point, maybe he wants to enter that weak square at some point.
God.
But Harikrishna can now take over the initiative.
I think Gukesh is a little over ambitious in this.
Yeah, I mean, this is Gukesh's style to play. He just is over ambitious in general. And now if the bishop comes here, black would have completed his development, has a very nice position with the knight coming in here, looking here. So it looks scary. Arjun Erigaisi versus Grandelius Nils. What is the biggest imbalance?
Bishop versus knight.
Yes, and
Pawn structure.
fantastic. Who do you like in such a position?
White.
Why?
I don't know. It's very easy to play.
Exactly.
Just put knight on d4, do time pass.
Exactly.
And,
You're very right.
Rook on c1 and start attacking.
Gukesh did not play that. अच्छा, Gukesh had not played knight e3. ये मेरे से गलती से मूव हो गया था. Gukesh played bishop f3, which is the best move. Thank you, chat. Bishop h6 played. By the way, Mrutyunjay Jalan in the chat says shout out to Biswa. Knight e7. I think, Biswa, if you had to take one pawn break here, which one would it be?
C4.
No, because this is a weak pawn. You don't want to get rid of it.
But वो रुक खुल जाएगा ना.
हाँ, but king will then sit here.
Okay, then B5.
Yes. So what's the move you play here?
A4.
But then how do you... Because this needs
Okay,
support.
rook B1.
Exactly.
Okay.
If rook B1 can be played, B4, B5 would be very strong. And then you put your knight here. Then your knights with the pawn will create a huge attack. So Arjun Erigaisi really putting a lot of pressure. This is Aditya Mittal's game against Jan Shistov Duda. Very quickly, what do you feel? The imbalances here.
Bishop pair.
Black has the bishop pair. So generally when an opponent has a bishop pair, white must have something in return. Either some activity, some weakness. If he doesn't have, then the bishop pair is generally better.
तो यहाँ पे एक्टिविटी है व्हाइट के पास.
अभी तो है, but let's say in such a position, if black can play b6, rook c8, then in the end you don't have that activity. So this is where Aditya has to be careful. If b6, knight goes to a6 and then is looking at this square, like take here and take here. So that's the reason why not b6. And so this is a interesting position. Let's go to Vidit's game very quickly and see what happened. Queen c7 was played after d5. Knight went to f5. Very good move by Vidit. Rook a d8. He took the pawn. Rook d1.
Great. Just take the rook now. What other option we have?
But with what? He wants to think knight, rook, queen.
Isn't rook the very obvious move?
He should take with the rook. But also, maybe he wants to take with the queen. Because in the end, maybe
He wants d3 break.
if he takes this, then he may want to exchange the queens like this and play the endgame. So that's why Vidit taking his time. There we have Vidit on the screen. And meanwhile, after bishop h6, he took on h6 here, Gukesh, and knight takes f3 was played. If e takes f3, rook takes h6, why is it such a huge advantage for white? What is the move that is really an amazing one here? I mean, is there a move as such? Oh, he actually doesn't play it. He goes knight f5, which is not good. He had to take, by the way, here, rook takes, and then king g2. And then his king is safe, this pawn is weak, and white is better. But he played knight f5, clearly hoping for some kind of tricks here. And I don't know what Hari will play, but this looks already pretty good for Hari now than what it was. It was a very bad position. And Vidit takes with the queen.
What? Why?
This is the main idea is this one.
मतलब, then and what?
Vidit is saying that basically your pawns are weak and I will attack them. Like knight c7, attacking the bishop and this pawn, knight d4, knight c6, and you can't do much. That is his contention. So here, if you were Nadir Beg, what would you play? You have to stop the queen coming here. Yeah, rook d8 is definitely a very, very possible move. But then comes knight d5. And unfortunately, you can't take because of check, and you lose the queen. No, it's a very interesting move, rook d8. But it fails to this. So you need this to control the e7 square. How do you control d5? And a lot of people in the chat said rook d8.
Knight f6.
Exactly. Knight f6, good move. And after knight f6, you want to take this. Oh, but he takes, and with it goes queen d5.
ग्रैंडमास्टर लोग कितना ऐसा वो शार्क होता है ना, जैसे ब्लड का स्मेल आता तो पहुंच जाता है उसे। एक विदित को कहीं से स्मेल है कि एक पॉन वीक है, वो पहुंच गया उधर शिकार करने के लिए।
But Nodirbek knows that he should not now exchange queens. So he will actually find a way. He will play a move which will not trade queens.
क्वीन b6,
Queen b6.
ए मर जाएगा।
हाँ, ये मरेगा. But queen f6 might be an idea. And then he will slowly try to look for some play here. Like even if you give up this pawn, it's okay. Like, you know, this tactical stuff. You have to think in that way for black. And he played queen f6. So great play by both the players. And Biswa, you're very like Daniel Naroditsky is also playing here.
Ooh, Narbai, कैसे हो? Love you, Narbai. Narbai सोच रहा है।
Naroditsky, Biswa looks at a lot of his videos. You learn a lot from him.
Everything I learned from him.
नारोडिट्स्की को कभी मिलूंगा तो बोलता हूँ।
मैंने बोला था उसको,
वो जब ग्रैंड मास्टर चेस,
पता नहीं उसको याद होगा नहीं याद होगा। ओके चलो मैं निकलता हूँ। See you, bye bye, bye chat, enjoy.
see you sir and see you on COTB.
COTB, see you.
उसके पहले थोड़ा OTB भी प्रैक्टिस करेंगे।
Okay,
बाय
bye bye.
Davis Chuk says Naroditsky is the best chess teacher for me too. बढ़िया बढ़िया। बाय टू बिस्वा, मजा आया बिस्वा के साथ। Oh, but Vidit goes bishop d4 now. Magnus game, please. Where is Magnus Carlsen, guys? Let's have Magnus Carlsen on the screen for us. Here he is. Oh, wearing a hoodie there. Magnus Carlsen playing against Richie Rapport. And there we have Richie Rapport here. Oof. Magnus giving hacker-like vibes. Yeah. AG is playing against Eric Hansen and is in some trouble here because he's a pawn down. If you see, white has 6 pawns, black has 5. But Anish's king is very active, so maybe there is something here for black. I mean, it's not so bad. Let's quickly check now the games. Let's move quickly. First of all, Arjun Erigaisi, he is doing pretty well. We were looking at rook b1, but he went knight d4, queen d7, knight c e2 played by Arjun, queen to c7, h3, king b8, b4 played. Ooh, he's going for the attack. Queen c4, b5, take here. And this is the position on the board. Arjun seems to be slightly better against Nils Grandelius. There you have Nils on the bottom of your screen. Then we have Nodirbek Abdusattorov versus Vidit Gujarati. Very exciting game here. Nodirbek has, after bishop d4, played queen e6. Now my one question is, why couldn't black play queen e6 directly? Because here the problem was he would go knight d4, attacking the queen and also this pawn. But after the bishop took this square, which is on d4, the knight is like, oh, mera square le liya. And now he's like, excuse me, I want to get here. But the bishop is like, oh, I'm already there. So the very, very thoughtful play by Nodirbek to play his queen here. And Vidit now breaks on the queen side with a4. Just softening up the position. Because if you play b4, then knight b5. And yes, these pawns are a bit weak. It's a very, very interesting and exciting game going on right now. Positional play, which is Vidit's forte. Vidit loves to take his opponent into a positional game and then just, make a weakness here, make a weakness there, and so on. But Nodirbek is the leader of the tournament, and look at his focus there. He's totally focused with his hands like this, while Vidit completely focused as well. He wants to qualify for the first time in top 8 for the Champions Chess Tour. He hasn't been able to do that. Meanwhile, Gukesh, after 95 here, King G2 played, Rook G8, 94. I like White's position overall because of the structure. I love White's structure. But Harikrishna says, look, now you also have a weakness here. My rook can come here, but the knight is defending the G3 point. So all in all, a very, very positive position here for White. What is Gukesh's move going to be is the question. I think Gukesh can afford to bring his rook now because he shouldn't care much about... Oh, he brings this rook. Oh, Rook G8 is a huge blunder by Harikrishna. Hari has blundered massively. What's the winning move here for White, guys? What's the winning move? Come on. It's a huge... And Gukesh finds it. Finds it before... No, knight at 6, Amol. The problem is rook takes G3 is hanging. Yes, exactly. Chess is more than fun. Soumya Agrawal, Maitriya Dwivedi. Now this is hanging, and all of a sudden it seems like Harikrishna has blundered a huge thing. Because if you go King C8, trying here, then now rook takes H5 is just over. Or even rook D1. And if you move the knight, let's say, but where to move the knight? You can't go here, you can't go here, you can't go here because everywhere the knight is hanging. Knight F8 you can't go because of check and you lose the queen. Look at Hari there. Oh my god. Hari has his head in his hands and he's like, what am I doing? Knight C5 played here and he's just blundered a full piece. He's blundered a full piece, and that is traumatic for Harikrishna because there is nothing he can do apart from resigning the game, and I think he's going to do that. Oof. This has not gone well for Hari and he resigns. Gukesh wins. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati, oh my god, he's winning after A4, B4 came here, he jumped in with his knight, Queen D5, a big error, he had to play knight F6, forcing the white queen to take so that FE6 would happen and black is doing okay, but he took and now pawn takes and abhi ye dekho, ye pawn passer ho chuka hai, it's a very strong pawn, the knight can come to C7, attacking here, the C4 pawn would be weak. Rook D8 played. Nodirbek is like, I will win this pawn. But Vidit now pushes the pawn. And guys, I really love such kind of tactical play. Because in this, you might say, oh, but the pawn will hang. No, you can take this knight. Pawn takes and you can take this pawn. But the problem is that after take and rook C4, this knight is out of the game. The bishop, rook and the pawn are going to party. Check here, pawn push, and it's going to queen. There's no way that black can save this position. So D6, an epic move here by Vidit Gujarati. Very nice move. And let's see how this continues now. After D6, Nodirbek taking his time. He knows he's in trouble because Vidit has all sorts of threats now. He can go bishop B6, attack the rook and pick up this pawn. Then this would hang. Then this would hang. Oh my god. Everything's falling apart. Let's see if Vidit can beat Nodirbek and, sort of a new leader will be established in this tournament. Also, let's quickly check what is happening with Arjun Erigaisi. Arjun's position suddenly looking a little bit suspect now because the black king has beautifully come to b6 and is telling that the b5 pawn is weak. Maybe here the rook can come to c7 and then put pressure here. So a nice position. Also, let's quickly check what is up with Aditya Mittal. Aditya in trouble because we had spoken about this. The bishop pair can get really nasty at some point. Looking here, the rook on the 7th heaven, the queen well placed. Oh, meanwhile, Nodirbek pushes his pawn to c3. Now let's quietly think, guys. चुपचाप सोचते हैं कि क्यों खेला है. What was the reason that he played c3? Why can't I just take this pawn? Isn't that a free pawn? I would just take it. Yes, and Vidit takes it. Vidit is also asking the same question that we have all on our mind. Why can't I take it? Okay, bishop b5, ab5. Doesn't matter. Maybe bishop b5, ab5, b3. And you want to create two passers connected here. But guys, whose passers are faster? I think it's white. a4, maybe c4. a3, maybe c5. Three passers stronger than two because here I can boom, 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 win this. And these three pawns are so powerful. Okay, he's played b3 first. He didn't take on b5. He's played b3. Nodirbek, so tricky. Guys, I can tell you this. Nodirbek is so tricky that he has managed to trick the best of players in the world from losing position. So Vidit by no means can relax right now. He must keep on finding good moves one after the other. For now, it seems like c4 is a no-brainer. Because once you have solidified the knight with c4, then this pawn is alone. Like look, c4 you take, I can even take cb5 so that this pawn does not get its partner to join in. Oh, and look at what Duda has just done. Duda, oh my god, Duda had a very good position. He could have just brought his rook back and continued this position, but he says, यार कौन ऐसे खेलता है यार, sack मारो, sacrificed his knight, pawn takes queen g5, attacking this pawn here and also the knight. Now Aditya Mittal, oops sorry, the knight here, Aditya has to figure out what to do. It's very tricky because ये pawn भी मर रहा है, ये भी, he has to find the move which defends this knight. He can't save both. So he has to choose this or this. I think he will choose the knight. He must play queen c4. But it's not at all an easy move to find here because after take, king h1, it's not so simple. With it taking his time here, he has 4 minutes on the clock. One thing that has improved quite a lot and quite drastically. Unfortunately, I couldn't ask to Vidit during the interview that I did when he was in Mumbai. There was very little time to ask a lot of questions, but I think he has made a very conscious effort to improve his handling of time. Because even here, in spite of thinking for more than 2 minutes, he is still winning. He's still ahead on time. Oh, meanwhile, Aditya Mittal blunders with knight d3. He goes wrong, and after queen e3, Duda is back in the driver's seat because now, okay, what Aditya may have on his mind is that if you take here, then knight b2 and white is better. And if rook d4, then also knight b2 is hanging. So you need to move this knight, but after rook d6, there is no real way in which, okay, he has to find the only move here, black to play. It's also not so simple. And by the way, Vidit has gone for something different. He has not played c4, but we'll come to it. Oh my god, Duda has found this entire variation and also the winning line at the end. Lakshya Mundra, you were absolutely right. All those who said here queen takes d4 in this position, that is incorrect because after knight e5, this is hanging and this is hanging. You can't defend both. So that's the reason why you have to first play rook b d6. And now notice the knight is hanging. If the knight moves, This knight is hanging, and in this way, Duda, these world-class players are not easy to beat. They find these ideas very well. And meanwhile, Vidit gave a check, brought his knight to c6, and is telling black that I'm attacking your rook. If you play rook d7, he may want to take the knight on a5, a pawn on a5, then the pawn on b3. So he played bishop b5, and Vidit said, sorry, isn't this simply hanging? Nodirbek is now completely lost because bishop takes a4 is met with c4, c5, and bishop d6 is not really a possibility because of knight f7, and you lose the bishop. So bishop a4 has been played. Let's see if Vidit goes c4. I think he will. He plays it. Excellent play by Vidit Gujarati. He's looking so solid, right? You know, Vidit is looking like a different person altogether. Very, very solid, very not making any errors and playing fast. This is how you upgrade yourself, guys. This is a great thing, and I think Vidit looking very, very likely in this event to do well. Okay. As always, we do not count our chickens before they hatch, but this is looking good. Meanwhile, Richard Rapport is in big trouble because after bishop b4, Magnus went bishop f3. Now the h5 pawn is hanging, bishop is hanging. If you take on f3, queen takes f3, h5 and f2 both are hanging. It seems like Richard Rapport in trouble. Bishop b5 played by he first went, one second, knight g5, and he pushed his pawn to c5, bishop b5 and h4 played. I think Abdusattorov might well call it a day here, because now with the knight defending this pawn, if it moves away, then Vidit will take this pawn. There's nothing that can much be done. Also, time is running low. He's down to 13 seconds on the clock. Magnus is looking like he's about to fall asleep. Yeah, also he's winning totally. 96. Okay, a very, very prudent idea could be to just take 96, fe6 and pawn push to c6. Why not? c6, bishop d6, and then push c7. Then you take here, I will take here, and I'm a complete rook up. If you want to push the pawn, bishop b2, everything is defended. It's time to resign. This is over. Nodirbek, c7 on the board. What a nice game by Vidit, actually. Very nice. Nodirbek made that one mistake of trading queens, and after that, Vidit was absolutely on fire. Actually, Nodirbek didn't take here. He played bishop d7, queens take, rook takes, king h7, and he hopes that his pawns here with the dark squared bishop can cause some damage. But how? You can just go rook 8. What Vidit might not want to happen is that he doesn't want to go into a rook versus bishop game. Like, for example, bishop a3, take b2. If he takes here, there's a queen. But no, just rook b5 and stops the pawn. So yeah, this is over. Vidit there, just, chess players have this thing. When they are winning, they just go back in the chair. They start looking here and there. You know that they are winning the game. Also, when they are losing, sometimes that happens. Nodirbek has 40 seconds here and he resigns. Vidit Gujarati beats Nodirbek Abdusattorov, the current world rapid champion, and also moves up into the leaderboard with 8 points now. Nodirbek still on 10, but what a nice game by Vidit. Excellently played. Let's go also now to check some other games that are happening. What about Aditya Mittal? Aditya is in trouble because he's 2 pawns down. He is losing here and the chat is all VDOP and they're going wild. Yeah, Vidit has played very well. Meanwhile, Arjun Erigaisi is winning his game because Nils Grandelius from a better position makes a blunder here with rook d8 And there you can see him shaking his head. Knight c4. He's missed this move. Because if he took here, rook takes d6 check and you lose the knight. So king c7, and that's the thing now about Arjun. He's so sharp. He can pick up this pawn, but he can also play b6 here. b6, king c6, there is knight b4. So you might have to go to d7. Then knight a5 is hanging. What about knight d4? Oh, he's played b6 in the position. And now, after knight d7, king d7, knight a5, he's taken on e3, but I think he's tilting here. Okay, firstly, you can take, rook takes, oh, he goes here. But maybe better was to take, and go king d2, and then take on b7. This would have been very strong. But he went, in this position, he went knight d4. Takes. Okay, Arjun in the driver's seat now, guys, because Arjun has an extra. Actually, he does not have an extra pawn. Count the pawns, it's equal. But these 4 pawns here are equal to 3 pawns here, you know, that way. So Magnus wins his game against Richard Rapport. Guys, Magnus is a very, very tough player. And Nils, by the way, is shaking his head. He's played bishop c5. But I think Arjun is going to play... No, he's not going to play that. That was my mistake. He takes on b7. Bishop takes b6, pushes his pawn. Now the 2 knights and the pawn here are pushing forward. Is very dangerous, very tricky. Siddharth Ranadev asks, was it even in doubt that Magnus is in great form? You know, sometimes you start off a tournament, you are not in great form, you are just trying to get your bearings in. But Magnus has got his sights set. After losing to Mamedyarov yesterday, he's now back. By the way, beautiful play by Mamedyarov to beat Anish Giri. That was a great game. Heart attack. Sorry guys. Sorry. Heart attack nahi dena hai. Bishop a7 played. I think you need to remove this bishop. How do you do it? Is there a way? Yes. Knight to b5. Bishop f2 played. Pawn to a6. King c6 played. Okay, now how about knight d4? Let's go here so that the pawn can push forward. The bishop can be just stopped from looking here. Oh, he goes knight d6. Man, Arjun is so good. He's so good. Meanwhile, Aditya Mittal, does he have any chances here? I don't think it's over. This is over. And Nils Grandelius, of course, finding it difficult to handle these knights. They are jumping from here and there. Now rook a8 comes to stop the pawn. Ab kya kare? Pawn maar diya gaya hai. Knight f7, wanting to check here, but the knight comes and stops it. Now what next can we do? Can we go knight d8 check? कर सकते हैं, but which knight? This knight, this knight. HSK chamber, the standings will be shown after this round ends in like 5 minutes, and then we can see the updated standings of all the players. Anish Giri just beat Eric Hansen. Vincent Kaimar beat Shakhriyar Mamedyaro, which is amazing. Aditya Mittal is losing against Duda. Magnus Carlsen beat Richard Rapport. Daniel Naroditsky drew with David Anton. Nils Grandelius in trouble against Arjun, but Arjun has only 1 minute to convert it. Vidit Gujarati beating Abdusattorov. Gukesh beating Pentala Harikrishna. C4 played on the board. C4, but ये मार दिया जाए. Let's take it. I think he will. He will. Oh, he goes back. Okay. We take. Also, guys, look at this classy move. Check. I mean, not check. Push the pawn. Because if you take with the bishop, then knight fd8. Check. If king to b6, rook b1 check. If king to a6, rook a1 check and winning the rook. And if king to c7 here, then knight e6 check. These knights are crazy. Crazy position, yeah. King can't go here. King has to come up. And now you can take, and pin and win here. Or, actually, no, rook c1. No, there's a check. You can take this, king takes, and rook a1 and win this. And then this pawn endgame is winning because the moment he goes here, you can go here. He takes, you take, and then go here and win this pawn. So, c5 move खेल सकते हैं क्या? Because the knights will then create chaos on the board. But look at Arjun. He's thinking there in his calm manner. Will he find it? No, he plays something else totally. He goes bishop b6. He gives a check. Takes, rook takes, knight to c5 played. King c3 on the board. d4. Can't take. Again, this is crazy knight because if you take check and you lose the rook. So always beware of the knights. And now I'll tell you a rule which will be helpful for the rest of your life. Aditya Mittal has lost his game against Duda. The rule is if you are playing an endgame where the knight is very dangerous, put your rook and king on opposite colored squares. So light square, dark square. Knight can never fork them. But if you go on a dark square, fork aa gaya, baith gaya, khatam. So that's how when you are low on time, put it on a different squares. He cannot fork you. Meanwhile, take on a6 has been played. Now, knight e5 check has to be interposed. Okay, let's go. Check. Good move by king d6. Now, first take the pawn on g6. So, white is a pawn up. But more importantly, the white king will come here. This pawn is weak. This pawn is weak. This pawn is weak. Sab kuch weak hai. But knight endgames are always tricky. So let's see how Arjun converts them. Let's say, for example, king c5. You don't want to go to king d3 because of knight b4 check. So what you want to do here is you want to play king b3. Oh, he goes knight c5. He stops the king from coming up here or here. Now the king is kind of tied here. But I can go knight f4 and attack this pawn. People are saying मैंने boost पिया है. Why is Sagar so energetic today? He's usually half asleep. No, guys. I'm usually half asleep after 2 rounds. Okay. So by that time, usually my energy levels go down considerably. It also depends on how my day has been. Today I went to the club and did a lot of interesting things. I played a lot of games. I think I was perhaps in a good form today, playing decent chess. I did not lose a game and I was quite doing well. Okay, take the pawn on h4. King f6. g4. Shall we do that? g3 भी कर सकते हैं. g3. Oh, he goes f4. He just fixes this weakness. फिक्स कर दिया. मतलब दोस्तों क्या होता है पता है, वीकनेस रहता है ना, वीकनेस मतलब तुमको पता है ना, लाइक इन लाइफ व्हेन यू फाइंड अ वीकनेस जस्ट फिक्स इट सो दैट इट रिमेन्स अ वीकनेस फॉर एवर. नाइट e6. नाउ g3. शांति से Surya Jyoti Saha says Sagar yesterday versus Sagar today, greatest comeback in the history of chess base India. Oh, by the way, he actually went here and he gave this pawn because he got this d4 pawn and he can now start pushing the pawn. किंग कम्स टू G5 नाउ। ये G5 पे ये वाला नाइट पे अटैक है। चलो वापस आते हैं और फिर वापस ओ किंग E3 नाइस। Arjun is like, you take here, I'll take here. Okay, check king here, knight D4. Oof. Time to resign. Nils resigns the game and Arjun Erigaisi wins. And guys, with this, all the games of round number 5 have come to an end with the standings looking like this. Magnus Carlsen moves up the leaderboard with 10 points. He is now one of the leaders of the tournament. Then we have Vincent Kaimar, who is on 10 points as well, beating Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Vincent Kaimar really showing some outstanding chess. You know, guys, he's also 16 years. No, he's what, 2004 born or 2005? To check, but he's 17 years old and he's playing so well. Vincent, 10 points. Abdusattorov, 10 points. Duda, 10 points. Gukesh, 9 points. Vidit Gujarati, 8 points. Shakhriyar Mamedyarov, Arjun Erigaisi, 8 points. So Indians really doing well there. In 3 Indians in top 8. Mamedyarov on 7, Anish on 7, Rapport on 7, Aditya Mittal on 5, which is a fantastic score for the youngster. He's still an IM and he's doing really well. Harikrishna on 2 points, needs to start winning a few games. Guys, before we get going, I want to really thank all of you who signed up yesterday for DreamHack, because a lot of people have signed up and we're going to put out the entries and all later in the day. Maybe tomorrow you will get to see. But for all those who are still waiting for it, this is your chance. The DreamHack Rapid and Blitz is happening in Hyderabad from 4th to 6th of November with a prize fund of 10 lakh rupees, 7.5 lakh for Rapid, 2.5 lakh for Blitz. Time control 15 plus 10 in Rapid, 9 rounds, 3 plus 2 for Blitz, 11 rounds. And these are the prize funds that await you. 1,50,000, 1 lakh prize money, 60,000, 40,000 for the Rapid, and for Blitz first place is 40,000, 30,000, 20,000. Lot of people from all across India are going to come there, because not only is this event happening, this will happen from 10 in the morning to 4 in the evening, but then you can just be there, relax in this beautiful environment of DreamHack, which looks something like this. It's like a festival, and there you can then watch the death match on 5th of November, and before that, comedians over the board, where there will be 8 comedians from all across India playing against each other over the board, and these are some of the best playing comedians. Who will win it? You can see that. And by the way, you can get tickets on these platforms. I've put the link in the description, so please do check it out and join in. It will be great fun. Okay, whoo! Did you make a video on bars rule? Mohit PA, no, I did not make. I have to make it very soon. Now, what's going to come up in the next round? Let's quickly have a look. Meanwhile, the next round will start in 5 minutes from now. तो थोड़ा relax करते हैं. Harikrishna versus Anish Giri. It's Hari versus Giri. Gukesh versus Nodirpek Abdusattorov Olympiad rematch coming in, guys. That too, Gukesh will have black pieces, not white. Maza hi aane wala hai. Vidit Gujarati takes on Nils Grandelius. What a match that is going to be. What a nice game. Arjun Erigaisi versus Daniel Naroditsky. Will Arjun score a win once again against Naroditsky here? Like, he played really well in the last game. Arjun managed to beat Nils. We have Magnus Carlsen versus David Anton. Richard Rapport versus Jan Krzysztof Duda. Aditya Mittal takes on Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. And Vincent Kaimar versus Erik Hansen. Giri performance dropped. Arey, Giri. Yesterday, Anish played so well against Vidit, so that was very cool. मजा आने वाला है. Let's have Gukesh and Nodirbek on the screen. By the way, I really enjoy watching Vidit because he look at Vidit, by the way, guys. He's very calm, cool, composed. I think there's something about him that's changed. Earlier, before the game, after the game, he would not be so calm. And now, and he used to talk a lot about Black Lotus and all then, but right now, he's the perfect ambassador for Black Lotus. Looks so calm, looks so relaxed. Meanwhile, Nodirbek getting ready for his encounter against Gukesh because Nodirbek really wants to beat. Let's see now what is going to happen next in this round. Vidit is taking on कौन है भाई Vidit गुजराती का opponent, so we can have them on the screen one by one. Vidit is taking on Nils Grandelius. Okay, we'll have Nils here. Then we have Gukesh. Let's have Gukesh on the screen. Here is Gukesh. No, they're back. Magnus इस बार तो नहीं. Hari versus Giri is going to be an epic game because I think Giri has beaten Hari in the past. Sorry, Hari has beaten Giri in the past. So, it's going to be very nice. Oh, there we have Guki on the screen there. And Nils Grandelius comes in to beat Vidit Gujarati. To play Vidit Gujarati, not beat. Of course, everyone wants to beat each other. Vidit changed his water bottle as well. Oh. सिद्धार्थ शर्मा से रौनक का निहाल का प्रग का सबका बदला लेगा रे गुकेश. Nice. Swastik says, Sagar bhai, have you thought of streaming on two platforms at the same time, Twitch and YouTube? Yes, I have thought. Also Facebook sometimes, but for now I haven't really done that. I don't know, there are some reasons. Meanwhile, Arjun Gaisi there getting ready. Daniel Naroditsky also. Love from Nepal says Sukrit Bhattarai. Oof. Standings. All those who haven't seen the standings, this one's for you guys. Check out the standings. Michael Scott says, Sagar bhai, Facebook is dead. अरे ऐसा कैसे dead? सब कुछ चल रहा है लाइफ में. There are by running different platforms since 2016, 15, 16. What I have realized, it's all something goes up, then something other goes up. It's always important to sort of take care of many different things because at some point something will do well, then at another point something else will do well. So you should, that's how I look at it. Okay, there we have, these are the 9 players right now. Vijay Nistula, thank you so much. Akash Guge says, love from Airoli. Are idhar hi. Pagad says, Sagar bhai, I'm fan watching your videos. I learned chess and now I'm 1200 elo player. Are badhiya. Meanwhile, let's start with first Nodirbek versus Gukesh. On the middle of your screen, left and center. D4, knight f6, c4 on the board by Nodirbek. Let's see what Gukesh does. Gukesh always plays e6. Sorry, e6. He will play e6. I think he will. But Gukesh thinking. What is he thinking? Bhai, Gukesh kya khela hai? Haan, e6 khela. Okay, knight f3. For sure. Yes, d5. Gukesh will go d5. Guys, I'm guessing moves. Knight c3. No, yes, bishop b4. Gukesh, of course, Ragozin ही खेलेगा वो, और क्या ही खेलेगा. Let's go. Gukesh. What else if not Ragozin? तुम बिन जिया जाए कैसे. Ragozin on the board. Okay, queen a4 check. Guys, entire game I've written it. Oh, cd ed. Bishop. Oh, bishop f4. Knight e4 played by Gukesh, pinning the knight. Okay, rook c1. C5 kya? Oh, knight c6. Everyone tells don't put your knight here when you have played d4, d5. But what is Gukesh's idea? Oh, I know what Gukesh wants to do, guys. Gukesh wanted to go g5 here. Okay? But he's played his knight to c6 so that after e3, now he will go g5. यही प्लान है, तो इसके लिए e3 मत खेलिएगा. Don't play e3. Oh, that's why he went knight d2, and now Gukesh went g5, knight e4 on the board, which is a mistake. Mistake has happened from white because the best move here was bishop e3. Guys, I really need to know whether this is all preparation by Gukesh or this is something new. Let's have a look at ChessBase 16 and Mega Database here. Okay, live database. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, bishop b4, cd, ed. ठीक है, ये सब खेला गया है. Bishop f4 also played. Knight e4, 114 games, 116 games. Rook c1, knight c6, 74 games. Knight d2, 55 games. g5. And now no one, absolutely no one has played knight e4. My God. But is Naroditsky, has he played ever this with white? He hasn't played. So that means that this is something new for Naroditsky, or maybe he's just mixed up things. He's taken on e4 and Gukesh is now deep in thought, because what is Gukesh thinking? Yeah, he takes, very good. But Naroditsky still blitzing out. My God. What is up with Naroditsky playing an inferior line and then drinking his milk, their coffee, whatever it is, and just telling Gukesh, it's all worked out, buddy. All worked out. You take here, I take back with the knight. White is better. Gukesh has to play now bishop e7. He has to go back. Now let's quickly check the game of Vidit Gujarati. Oh, but he takes on e4. Okay, ab4. This looks complex. Very complex. ये गेम से ऐसे दूर जाने का मन नहीं हो रहा, क्योंकि इफ यू टेक ऑन नाइट b4 देन नाइट e, oh नहीं गाइस, ट्राई टू फाइंड द विनिंग मूव, नॉट नाइट e4. देयर इज अ विनिंग मूव हियर. हु कैन फाइंड इट in the chat? All the classy players. White to move. What is the move? Of course, dear chat, you guys are awesome. Queen a4 by Sangeet Dhabi, Abhinav, Gauri, Crazy Content, Jerush, Abhishek, Pranshu, Parvati, Harsh Kumar, M. Kohli. Fantastic job. Knight takes b4, queen a4 check. But then you ask the question, but the knight can go back. But it cannot be saved. d5, pinned piece is attacked and won. Okay, very cool. a3, he took here, and now he's thinking. Let's quickly go and check what is up with Vidit Gujarati. He goes, by the way, Vidit has played a very interesting opening. Knight f3, knight f6, g3. Now remember, guys, knight f3, b5 is not a great idea, okay? Because white can go e4 and the bishop attacks the pawn. But when your opponent goes g3, b5 is possible, because now bishop is like, भाई मैं इधर जा रहा था, तब इधर से एक अच्छा जॉब ऑफर आया है, पर मैंने तो ऑलरेडी ये जॉब ऑफर ले लिया है, you know? So knight a3, Vidit plays a6, c4, b4. Very weird game. e6, a3, take, b3, bishop b7, bishop g2, c5, and okay, interesting position on the board. Let's have a look at Daniel Naroditsky versus Arjun Erigaisi. All Indians having black pieces, is it? Let's quickly flip. E4, C5, knight F3, E6, C3. Okay, D5 takes, queen takes. Daniel Naroditsky, by the way, big expert on the Sicilian Alpine, plays a lot in his blitz run that he does on his channel. Check here. Knight F6. Guys, can't take the queen by क्योंकि pin है, pin. You can't take the queen. Bishop D3, queen A5, castles, and he's like, oh, take. Arjun Erigaisi is such a pawn grabber. He's grabbed another pawn. Now this looks very, very dangerous. Where did Daniel Naroditsky go? Maybe he went to the washroom. He's come back on the board and he's telling himself, like, look, if I was playing this position online, I would be talking to my chat. Chat, my opponent has grabbed a pawn, keeping his king in the center. This is very risky. What should I do now? And so here he can create play. Rook C1, queen A5. Yes, he plays it. Rook C5. Let's go back. Queen A5 has to be played. Arjun in big trouble. He has played this risky opening. Actually, Naroditsky is moving from here to here, right? What? Oh, queen A3 is a massive blunder. But why? One second. Let's think. Will Naroditsky be able to find this next move? There is a very strong move that white has here, guys. Can you think? White to play. White to move. There is a very powerful move. Swapnil Deshmukh, bishop b5, but then you know, right, what he will do. Gukesh will say, okay, Arjun will say, thank you so much, I'll castle. You can win the pawn if you want. Doesn't matter, I'll activate my bishop here. So that's not a good move. Yes, all those who have mentioned d5, proud of you guys. Sohan, Vishesh, Shivank, Tahmeed, Deven, Vinod, Lakshya, Shashank, Graham, Jaideep. Well done, guys, because now after d5, okay, you can keep the position closed, but the bishop comes here, attacks the queen, queen goes back, and now there's no castling possible. Knight g5, queen coming in, queen here. This is weak, rook can join. Lost. This is losing for Arjun. Meanwhile, oh my goodness gracious me, what the hell is happening in the game of Gukesh versus Abdusattorov? These two youngsters played an epic game at the Olympiad, which actually determined which country won the gold medal. It went to Uzbekistan in that, but Gukesh here says, look, Abdusattorov, I am going all out against you. I'm hitting your F2 pawn. Abdusattorov takes. Gukesh goes in with a check. King now has to move. No, one second. Can you go king d2? No, this would be horrible. This is lost. Because after take, if you go king c2, bishop f5, the king hunt is on here, and knight d4 with the support of the queen. King a2, bishop e6. King kahan jaye? King yahan gaya. Knight b3. Position is done and dusted. Okay. Can't do. King can't run so much. So, fe3, if king e3, that's already worse, because bishop f5 with queen g5 is almost like, okay, I can just long castle. The rook comes in. This is going to be horrible. So, what Nodirbek does, he goes g3. And now Gukesh takes the pawn. Okay. And Nodirbek says, bhai, main to chala. भाग रहा हूं मैं यहां से. I am running to the mountains, to the hills. But Gukesh is like, sorry, Abdusattorov, your king is not running anywhere. My bishop is stopping you right now, right here, right now. है खुशी का समा. And next he wants to long castle, and look here, oh my god, either Gukesh is going to crush Nodirbek here, or Nodirbek's position is just going to be epic with the center. What a game. What a game. You just 14 moves into this game. Only move, by the way, for Nodirbek now. Only move is bishop g2. He must play that move. Why? Because here in this position, if Gukesh were to long castle, then maybe he has some plans like knight b5 with bishop c6, rook looking here, knight a7 ideas. Okay, here's a question. Instead of if he goes bishop g2, Gukesh can go like boom, and if you take boom, if you take go here, because you can't go here, boom, here, long castle, game over, khatam, that is over. Oh my god, let's have a look at their faces. Gukesh there. Look at Gukesh. Gukesh is so focused and Nodirbek is like, भाई कहां पहुंच गया, 14 मूवी हुआ है, इतना अटैक कौन करता है? Crazy. Crazy. Bar is saying equal, guys, but the moves are not so easy for white to play. When you have a king on d2, you're always scared. Humanly. Like Stockfish is like, bishop g2, knight d4, play knight d5, attack here. If he goes long castle, find the move, rook c4. अरे भाई ऐसा कौन सोचता है? No one can think this way. Human beings cannot think this way. So, what did Nodirbek play? Knight to b5 played by Nodirbek. Now, guys, bishop e4. Bishop e4 attack this rook. But it's not easy when you're losing this pawn. One second. Let's think. What is the human move here, guys? Human move is long castle. ठीक है? Human move long castle करेंगे हम. बढ़िया move. But after this, white is better as we saw the transposition. This is good for white. Okay. We can't do that. We can't do that. So what will he do? क्या करे क्या ब्लैक से? ये मूव ढूंढना कितना आसान है गाइस. Oh, or you can go just queen e7. You can say no problem. If you now go bishop g2, check, and this is problem. Okay, so queen e7 is actually findable. Gukesh can find queen e7, but Gukesh, backward moves, पीछे जाना. Gukesh doesn't like moving backwards. That is why. Ayush says, meanwhile, Stockfish in real life 00111101. Let's quickly check what is up with Harikrishna and oh my. भाई क्या चल क्या रहा है दोस्तों? बेस्ट डिजाइन अवार्ड दे दे हम इन्हें. ये क्या है? What is this? What is this happening with all the pieces on the board? इतना कंजेशन तो घाटकों पर ईस्ट वेस्ट ब्रिज पे भी नहीं होता है जितना यहां पर है. I don't understand anything, but the engine says कि भाई knight f5 पे है ना, तो भाई sack आ रहा है. It's an attack here. It's a crazy position. Take here, queen enters with a huge attack. Bishop f5, ef5, knight joining in. Harikrishna going to get checkmated here. Let's see if Anish Giri, we can see him on the screen. Anish is focused, man. Anish, ये वाला Anish को नहीं हरा सकते अपन. Because see, Anish Giri focused and having a bad position is possible to beat. Anish Giri having a good position and not focused, also possible to beat. But Anish Giri having a good position and focused, very difficult to beat. Okay. Meanwhile, Gukesh not yet making his move. What about Vidit Gujarati? Vidit having a tough position. Guys, very tough. Just look at this position and ask yourself, what is happening? Pawn on a6 is like, मैं अकेला क्यों हूं? Everyone in black camp is saying to the pawn, hey, you are a passer. तू बनेगा कुछ जिंदगी में, you will become. There's no one to stop you. Pawn is like, but I want to be with everyone else. Look at white has everyone together. So guys, it all depends on the pawn's confidence levels. His confidence level is horrible because everyone's just blocking him. So right now Vidit in a tough situation. Very bad situation here for Vidit, at least from the opening perspective, but not lost as such. Meanwhile, Daniel Naroditsky making this a very instructive game. He's going to right now just crush Arjun Erigaisi. I don't see how Arjun is going to survive this. Look at, if guys, if your children ever ask you, or if your children, if your parents ever ask you, please show me a game where development advantage is to be properly shown, please show them this game. Look at this. Crazy. Just completely over. And what is this king doing? Doesn't know. And you can see there Arjun, well, from Arjun's face, very difficult to make out, but Daniel Naroditsky knows he's going to win this. Let's go to Gukesh's game. What did Gukesh do? Are, Gukesh has played rook d8. Okay. Firstly, nice move. Just let's appreciate this move. Why? Because rook is looking opposite the king. ठीक है, मारो. आइडिया है मारना है इधर घुसना है, मतलब फुल मेट. वी वांट टू चेकमेट हिम. But one question is bishop g2. Okay, I want to take. You want to take. I want to take. You want to take. I want to take. You want to go back. I want to check you. You want to come here. But now I wanted to give a check here, but my rook is gone. So I need another rook. Where is that other rook coming from? Guys, what do I play? What is black's move now? Of course, we have to castle. And now rook d8 coming. Rook d8, king e7 नहीं करना है, long short castle करते हैं. Simple chess. But now all of a sudden white has to find this crazy move. Completely crazy. Like a normal human being will say king c3, but then queen e3 check, game over. Khatam. Because you can't bring your queen. This is hanging. You can't go out, go back. This is blocked. You have to come up. But once you come up, check. King और ऊपर लाओ. अरे कितना ऊपर लाओगे भाई? Mate हो जाएगा. Mate. It's over. So you need to find a move which is rook c5. Rook c5 you have to find, so that your rook can block and your king can go back. So let's say queen d4, king says king c1. मस्त जगह मिल गया. Okay, rook comes here, rook says rook d5. मस्त बच गया अपन. So such difficult moves have to be found here for Naroditsky, and it's not easy. Although the bar is like 0.00 equal. But dosto, this is not equal. This is fully boiling position. It's boiling hot. What is now Naroditsky going to do? Very stressful. Very stressful. Meanwhile, Magnus Carlsen आराम से खेल रहा है. He's like एंड गेम खेलते हैं यार, एंड गेम मस्त खेलेंगे. नाइट इधर थोड़ा वीकनेस है, बिशप मस्त है. ओके, पॉन डाउन है तो क्या हुआ, पोजीशन तो बढ़िया है. ये स्क्वायर वीक है, ये स्क्वायर वीक है. नाइस. मैग्नस कार्लसन प्लेइंग अ वेरी काम कूल गेम. आदित्य मित्तल, द यंग बॉय, has done something which not many have been able to do with Shakriyar Mamedyaro, exchange queens. But it's not a great position for Aditya because his king is in the center. Also white's king is in the center, but black's look slightly more weak. Also, what is this bishop doing here? Rook can come to the 7th rank, bishop well positioned, knight can come to d4, f5, e6. Doesn't look good for Aditya. Let's quickly go and check what is Naroditsky doing. Naroditsky bleeding time. He has 6 minutes 50 seconds. Gukesh has 9 minutes. And Anish Giri chopping f6 pawn. Oof. Oof. Anish Giri wants to checkmate. But Harikrishna thinking very calmly here. How does he continue? If you take here, this is over. So Hari can actually take on e4. But after bishop e4, d e4, knight g7, e takes f3, and now knight h5. Not easy to find, guys. Not easy to find. Threatening a check, and also later on, for example, let's say just a random move. I take e d4. Then here I go queen here, check here, or queen coming to actually f6. If you go queen e7, knight f6, king h8, queen h5. ये मारा, हम चेक देंगे और क्वीन को जीतेंगे. So it's actually not easy. Although the engine say +5, it's not easy. Hari should take here. I think that's the best move here. It will create complications that will be mind-boggling even for Anish, because he has a very narrow path. Dekho guys, +5 advantage with 3 lines winning is a totally winning position, but with 1 line winning and rest lines losing is a very tricky one, because here you have to find this, then you have to find this. So Harikrishna very much in the game. Meanwhile, Nodirbek finds the first move that is needed for him to hold this game. He finds it. Bhai, Nodirbek is not someone you can underestimate. He is, after all, the world rapid champion. He has played his bishop to g2 and he's saying to Gukesh, I want to just kill your knight there. That is the knight which is causing me unbelievable amount of stress. मैं मार रहा हूं उसको. But now, Gukesh, look at his focus, guys. Look at his focus. He's just sitting there. He's thinking he has 7 minutes 44 seconds. He must take on d5. Oh my god, look at this. This line has happened and Anish Giri. Insane. Insane Anish. What did he do? Like, look at that. He took here on e4, took here, took on g7, took on f3, knight h5. अब ऐसा खेलोगे तो कैसे हराएंगे? He's playing so well. Anish Giri on fire and Harikrishna in trouble. This is, I mean, he can't do much because Anish finding one best move after another. Okay, what about Arjun Eri guys? See, Arjun magically has managed to castle. Somehow. You know how he did it? He first went here after rook e1, knight e7. He's like, bhai, main castle kar raha hu. Black went queen a, white went queen a4. Now the point is that if you castle here, then bishop takes h7. Boom. And you're like, oh, but kya ho raha hai? Check. King here, knight g5. Khatam. Game over. Oh, you want to come to d3 to stop this? Rook e4 blocks it and the mate continues. So that you can't allow. You can't castle. ऐसा trap लगाया. Bishop d7. Queen a3, and Arjun is like, thank you so much, David. Thank you so much. I will castle. Because now, if you were to take on c6, I will take on c6. You take on f8. I will take here. By endgame खेलना है, खेलेंगे हम. We will play the endgame here, exchange down, because my king has castled and I am safe now. I'm not going to get checkmated. That is what Arjun wants to do. But I think Daniel Naroditsky is not a player who's going to take on c6. That's like selling your stock too cheap. How will you sell a stock of a company that's booming for just a little bit of profit? You want to go rook d1. You want to pin it here. And that is what he has to do. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati has started his comeback. Everyone told the pawn on a6, you can do something in life. Bhai, tu karega tu. You can become something. But the pawn on a6 is like, mere se nahi hoga. I can't do it. So the e pawn is like, sir, I want to do something in life. They're like, okay, let's go. E5, E4, let's become something. Pawn moves up to E4, knight F, D4 on the board. Now, Vidit has made a comeback in this game. He will play ED4 and he will also make white's position a little bit softer. You know, this pawn becomes weak and so on. Meanwhile, Queen G5 played. I was actually 100% sure that Gukesh would sack here, but was not to be. He has played Queen G5, which is the second best move in the position. But guys, Nodirbek now gets the chance to actually take this. Now, if you think about it, why would Gukesh give up that knight? Because that was the knight which was actually bombarding white's position. He was the one that was opening it up. But the point here is that after b takes c6, he wants this knight to go away. Now the knight cannot go away, guys. This is just completely gone, because if you go back knight to c3, boom, this is pinned. You lose the queen. But the question is, what is going to happen to rook takes c6? Because once you take on c6, the knight is still here. So Gukesh might have thought, bishop e4. I'm attacking here. I'm attacking here. But then, and I'm also attacking here. But then comes rook c5, and this is possible to find. Also, the queen is attacked, rook e5 check, and then the bishop would fall. If you want craziness in your life, look at this move g2. This is crazy. Rook g1, and then white is doing very well. So let's see if Nodirbek actually takes on c6. I think he would have to. 5 minutes on his clock, 5 minutes 38 seconds on Gukesh's clock. Guys, you know, chess in general is a game which is very complicated, but you can also make it very dull and boring. A lot of it depends on the will of the players. And when two young champions face off against each other who have no real respect for each other over the board, I'm not talking off the board, but over the board, they just want to kill your opponent. This is what you get on a chessboard. This is the craziness you get. And it's so enjoyable. It's so much fun to watch. Yes, maybe Naroditsky will win. Maybe Gukesh will win. We don't know. But we're just enjoying. It's like a slugfest. Suddenly this pawn is hanging. There is pin here. King on d2. Black wants to castle. But bhai, castle karne ko time nahi hai. Generally, you want to castle on the first. Pahli fursat mein castle karna rehta hai. But here there is no time to castle. Okay, let's go. By the way, Daniel Naroditsky has played 95 over here. And he's saying to Arjun, if you take on e5, I'll take on e7, and that would be a big advantage to me. So 95, good move by Daniel. But I think Arjun is such a tricky guy. He's such a tricky guy. He will play rook e8. You know why he will play rook e8? Because he wants to just bring his knight out. If you take here, he will take here with the bishop, and black is completely fine. Black is completely fine. But guys, look at this. Rook e8, what does Daniel Naroditsky have on his mind? And I think this will happen in the game. Once the rook comes here, soft, soft, soft. Everything very soft. Yes? Anyone? Varshika Donipala says, ask questions. Varshika Donipala, here's your question. What do you play? No, not rook d1, guys. Rook d1 mein ye maar dega. He'll take here. Yes, Samir Sangam, very good. Very good. Bishop takes h7, king takes h7, knight takes f7, attacking the queen, queen h3 incoming. This will be a huge attack. So that's the reason why I think Arjun is in big trouble. Meanwhile, oh, big mistake by Naroditsky. He did not play bishop takes c6. He actually took on c7. He took on c7, and now king f8 played by Gukesh. d5. Oof. Okay. Very exciting game, because d5 pawn is just threatening nothing. The pawn is pinned. So actually you can just ignore it. What's the first move that comes to mind? I feel king g7 with the idea of bringing the rook into the game. But यार ऐसे नहीं सोच सकते. King g7 खेला तो queen यहाँ से भागेगी. You need to think a little bit out of the box. You need to think. Samir Sangam says Gukesh's games are so stressful. That is true. Ritik Chatterjee says 5000 K की watching होगी आज. अरे भाई 5000 K मतलब क्या? 5000 K मतलब 50 लाख. 5000 की watching. Okay, guys, please do like the stream and please do subscribe. Let's go. What's the move that Gukesh should play here? I'm thinking. I want to actually win this pawn, but this bishop defends it. Okay, I can go here. This is what the engine suggests as the best move. But then knight to b5. Oh, there is queen b4. But you know, Gukesh is not. Oh, he finds queen e7. I was saying Gukesh is not finding this backward move, but he finds it. Now this is hanging. What does Naroditsky do now? He's in trouble. Big trouble. Oh, and look at this. What has happened? Daniel Naroditsky going all out against Arjun Erigaisi takes on h6, knight f7. मैंने बोला था दोस्तों ये होने वाला है और ये होके रहा है. Meanwhile, is Harikrishna having any chances after knight h5? He did play f6. Anish took king f7 on the board. Now Anish has a choice between taking here, which is like, चलो यार profit है, थोड़ा cash in करते हैं, or saying I go all in, queen g5 on the attack. What is he going to do? Let's see. Let's wait and watch. Meanwhile, Arjun Erigaisi has played his queen to c7. Now, I'm very interested to see how Naroditsky finishes this off, because you know, on one hand, yes, he's winning, but on the other, Arjun is a very tricky defender. For example, if you play bishop takes e7, now yes, you can't take with the knight because your queen will hang. You can't take with the rook here because I think queen e7, knight e7 and rook c7 is over. So this looks good, but queen f4. Suddenly the queen comes into the into the picture here, attacking the knight, and black is doing okay. This is what tricky Arjun is all about. But then Naroditsky can go here. If you go king g8, this is over. Knight g5 mate. Khatam. Game is over. We can't even play this way. So you must go up. You must go out in the open. Once this happens, you have to trust yourself. Trust that you are a piece down, yet you can mate this king which is all alone. So it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's going to be fun. We're going to keep on watching this game. Meanwhile, oh, mistake happens here by queen e7, knight b5. Gukesh goes in, chops the pawn here and gives a check. Knight is hanging. We have 4,000 people watching. Now what do you do? This is hanging. King is hanging. Knight must come back. Where do you do now? What's the next move? I don't know. Everything looks safe. This is what Nadir also thinks. Everything is safe. Mera king bhi safe hai. Mera pawn bhi safe hai. Everything looks good. If you count the number of pawns, no one's actually counting pawns right now. Oh, but if you win this pawn, then the king is ready to start running. But if Gukesh now asks himself, like, Gukesh, which is my piece that is not playing in the position? Then all of a sudden he realizes, oh my god, my rook on h8. Rook on h8 is not playing. Rook g8, winning move. Very strong move. And that's the thing about not bringing all your pieces into the game. So rook g8 is the move that has to be played. 2 minutes only for Gukesh. 2 minutes में कितना सोच सकता आदमी? Let's see. Let's see. Meanwhile, Anish Giri is like going all in Wala's thing. He went queen g5, queen e7, chops on e8. Queen e8. Could he not exchange the queens? Bishop g5, rook e8. Then it would be 2 pieces for a rook. No, because of check and you lose the bishop. Whew. Oh, by the way, Daniel Naroditsky goes bishop takes e7. That wasn't a great move because now Arjun. Okay, Arjun is worse. I'm not talking about, oh, Arjun has a great position or anything. But now he is okay. He's not going to get mated. And that's the thing. Daniel had to go queen h3 and had to sort of believe in his position. He did not. And Arjun has now his chance. Meanwhile, Gukesh went queen takes b2. Oh, Gukesh had to go rook g8. We were talking about this move, but he takes on b2. King e1. Knight b4. Oh, what's happening? e4. एक second, guys. Queen d2. And that would have been a good move. But e4. And now look at this move. Oh my goodness. What a move. What chess level of chess are we seeing? If queen d3, queen c1 is hanging. Okay. So I take with the pawn. No, but queen f2. Checkmate. It's a checkmate here. Okay. So he took with the queen. Takes here knight d1. He blocks the check. Okay. Interesting. Now, what's happening? Where does this bishop go? Do we want to bring it here and here on a4? I love it. Because then, actually now, all of a sudden, from all these huge fireworks that were happening, we have reached a position which is sort of now simmering down. bg6. Gukesh is like, I'm an exchange up. I can now play calmly. Maybe I can bring my king rook into the game. But remember, white can never castle. King had already been on d2. So you can't castle. What's happening with Vidit Gujarati, by the way? Vidit's game was one of the most calm games in this round. And it still is. He's actually in a difficult situation, guys. Mainly because his bishop on f8 blocked by his own pawn. The white knight coming to d5. The rook on the open file. Queen coming to f3. Vidit in very difficult situation. Meanwhile, Arjun, all of a sudden, better. How? Because he went knight e5. What sort of a move is that, you would ask? Well, the point was he wanted to go bishop d6 and Daniel Naroditsky said, if I can take here, I would get an opposite colored bishop position whereby my bishop would be superior to your bishop. For example, if you play bishop c6, bishop e5, queen g4 or queen g5, f3, my bishop is amazing. My king is safe, your king is weak. And when the kings are sort of exposed, opposite colored bishop positions are what you want for an attack. But Gukesh is like, sorry, Daniel, did you forget about knight f3? Because you now can't take with your queen, your bishop is hanging. So he had to take with the pawn, but that spoils his king now. And after check here, bishop g3, bishop c6, whose king is weaker? Is it Daniel's king or is it Arjun's king? Queen e3 on the board. This is a very exciting position now. Arjun slightly better from worse. That's the thing about these guys. Very good defenders. Queen d4. Naroditsky comes in and attacks Gukesh's rook on h8. King g8 played to defend it. H takes g3 here. Okay. What does Gukesh do next? Count the number of pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Please don't do the exercise. Now bishop, bishop. Rook, rook. You are exchange up. All you need is this rook to come into the game. And if you can achieve that, you would be better. How do you achieve that? h5, h4. That is how you achieve it. But you have 55 seconds. Naroditsky has 2 minutes. g3 pawn is weak. King f2 has to be played. Guys, why is chess so complicated? In spite of Gukesh being exchange up, the engine is saying equal. I don't understand why. I love black's position because once he gets h5, h4, he would be doing very well. For example, king f2, h5. What is the problem? Oh, rook h4. He's not going to allow me to play h4. That's the thing. Rook e8 played by Guki. He's played his rook. He wants to attack the e4 pawn. Let's keep that going. Meanwhile, after rook b7 check, Anish Giri has won his game against Pentala Harikrishna. Anish Giri playing like amazing chess in some games. Not so amazing chess in some games. He's showing some very interesting bit of things in this tournament. Meanwhile, let's quickly get also Magnus Carlsen on the screen because we love him in his hoodie. What about Arjun? Oh, Arjun clearly better now. Look at this. Arjun is like, Mera bishop attacking f3, my queen attacking f3, rook f8 attacking f3. What is Nightbot saying? Don't forget to like the video. Okay. King g2, rook f8. Now f3 pawn is weak. Rook c3, he's defending. What happened, guys? What happened? Daniel Naroditsky was all over Arjun's king. All over Arjun's position. All of a sudden, Arjun is like, by Daniel, your pawn is weak now. What can you do? How did this change? What did this change? Okay. Meanwhile, I have a feeling Vidit. Oh, Vidit, by the way, back in the game. How? Because queen f3. What? Why did he give up this? He could have gone knight d5. Okay, maybe he was afraid of queen f5 there. But he could have done any other thing. He goes queen f3, gives the pawn. Vidit comes back. And now Vidit equal. Equal. Take with the rook or take with the pawn. At least equal. So that's great news for Vidit. He's back in the game. What is Gukesh doing? Okay, Gukesh went rook e8, knight e3. Oh, he's trading queens. When ahead in material, exchange pieces. But more than exchanging pieces, Gukesh wants his king to come up so that his rook can come into the game. He has everything for himself. Dekho. Oh, he takes this pawn. Arey yaar. Mujhe laga hai wo ye marega, and then Gukesh will go king here and bring his rook out. But Naroditsky, this is repeat thing. This is Olympiad repeating, I guess. No, wait. I have a question. Guys, एक question है. Why can't we take on e4? Isn't that a nice juicy pawn? This is looking great. Why is the engine showing equal? Is the engine out of its mind? Does exchange mean nothing if you take on b7, e3 is hanging? What is happening? 18 seconds for Gukesh, 34 for Naroditsky. No, wait. Gukesh went king g7. Now Naroditsky defends it this way. Wow. Naroditsky defending his e4 pawn and now this is hanging. b5. Okay. What a stressful game. Oh, meanwhile, Arjun winning. Arjun is winning. Man, I'm too scared of Arjun. I'm telling you, Arjun never is, even if he's lost, he doesn't lose. He comes back from the dead. And okay, Vidit will draw this. I think rook c4, rook a6, draw incoming there. Vidit very solid, not losing that minus position. Let's quickly go back to Gukesh because this is the game. What about Aditya Mittal and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov? Aditya, yeah, lost there because White will take on e5 here with a check and then take here. It looks bad. It looks bad. So Aditya losing the game. But meanwhile, let's go. Okay, now e5 played by Nodirbek, getting the advantage. h5. I think, guys, one of the death matches that should definitely happen at some point of time is Gukesh versus Nodirbek. These two guys are insane. Oh, what a move. If you take hg4, queen f6, khatam. Rook gone, lost. So he can't take it. He can't take it. Queen e7 on the board, 10 seconds for Gukesh. And now Nodirbek has fought back like anything. What a fighter. What a fighter is Nodirbek. But can Gukesh fight back? That is the question. What did he play? Oh, there are so many moves. 1 second. He went queen e7, rook b6, d6, queen d4, knight e3, queen c5. But this is over because after check, king g8, bd5. Yeah, check comes in. अंकिता जैन से सागर भाई मेरा सर घूम रहा है, सब उलट पुलट हो गया. एंड वी हैव क्रॉस्ड 5000 पीपल वाचिंग दिस. 5300. व्हाट अ मैच. What a game this has been. Queen g6 hanging because this Gukesh brings his rook. He's trying to defend anyhow, but look at this move, guys. Rook takes h5. If you take with the rook, queen g6. If you can't take with the bishop because of queen h6. Can Nodirbek find it? I mean, there are many moves that Nodirbek can win with now. He's just winning totally like rook f4. But this is a special move. And Nodirbek knows he's winning. You can see that glint in his eyes. He knows that he can win this game. Meanwhile, Vidit has drawn his game against Nils Grandelius. Good play by Vidit there. Solid play. Oh! By Nodirbek. What a move. What a move. Rook takes h5. He finds it. He finds it. Khatam. Takes queen h6. And with this, although you are still exchange up, your bishop is lost. This bishop is super powerful. Guys, please refresh the stream. Everything's fine. Queen h6 on the board. What? There is an issue with my mic. Is it okay? What? Gukesh flagged? Gukesh. Can anything get more similar than this? First, Gukesh plays unbelievably. Gets a winning position. And then gets flagged down. And I mean, sorry, then Nodirbek fights back like crazy. Gets a great position. Okay, this is just... I can't believe what I just saw. What a game. What a game. Meanwhile, Arjun Erigaisi, look at him. Look at him. What a guy. No expressions. Arjun was like this when he was -5. Arjun is like this when he's +10. Guys, Nodirbek versus Gukesh is going to be a rivalry that will last the ages. I'm telling you. These two guys are going to play some amazing chess in the years to come. Mamedyarov and Aditya Mittal game is over. Aditya has lost his game. Who is Magnus playing against? Magnus is playing against David Anton. Let's have David Anton on the screen. What is happening in Magnus versus David Anton? Oof, Magnus winning. Magnus, bhai, kya hi khelte ho? Okay. By the way, let's go back to Arjun's game, King H2. Why is Arjun winning? Because he is 2 pawns up. It's as simple as that. Arun Krishna says Fisher versus Tal loading. Yeah, maybe. Or you can say Kasparov versus Karpov. But Gukesh played superb chess. Like, what a game this was. क्या मजा आ गया यार. पर एंड में नॉर्दरबैक doesn't give up. No, मतलब वो फाइट ऐसा फाइट करता है यार. मजा ही आ जाता है. मतलब guys, if you are in trouble in your life right now, have the fighting spirit like Nadirbek. Oh, by the way, is Rook B4 hanging now? Oh no, check and you lose the bishop. Ramit Malhotra says, I don't get how Gukesh lost that. I'll tell you, Ramit, how he lost. He lost because Nadirbek just kept finding the only moves again and again and again and again. And at some point, Gukesh was like, whew, he just couldn't keep up. Nadirbek just played tremendously. That's the thing. And Gukesh actually, first half, or I would say at least 60% of the game, Gukesh was winning. Meanwhile, Magnus Carlsen has beaten David Anton, and now we are just at the end of Arjun versus Daniel Naroditsky. Of course, Daniel Naroditsky would be definitely feeling bad here. He was totally winning. Look at him there, shaking his head. He's like, what did I do? I had everything going my way. Everything. I had cut his king off. His king was in the center of the board. He couldn't move. He couldn't move. And you know, this is one of the very things that players do, is that they sort of, instead of resigning, they take time, because it helps them recover sometimes a little bit. Because when you recover and the game is over, it's already like khatam ho gaya. But here the game is still going on, so you can sort of unwind. Okay, Rook G7 is just what? There's no stalemate. Come on. Arjun smile there. What, Arjun? Arjun smile. The smile that we all wait for there. And Daniel Naroditsky, yeah, spare a thought for him. He really played well. He really played well in the opening. He got a great position. But yeah, Arjun, you can never ever say that you have won the game against Arjun till you have actually finished him off. You know, that's the thing about these youngsters. They are just too good. Okay. What a round this was. It's time to look at the results. Harikrishna losing his game to Anish Giri. Anish Giri playing a gem of an encounter. Nadirbek beating Gukesh. What a game this was. Fantastic. Vidit Gujarati drawing his game against Nils Grandelius. Daniel Naroditsky losing to Arjun Erigaisi. Daniel was completely winning. David Anton losing to Magnus Carlsen. Magnus Carlsen showing once again why he's the boss here. Richard Rapport losing to Jan Shistov. Duda making a comeback, yeah, in this tournament, like doing really well. Aditya Mittal losing to Shakriyar Mamedyarov. Aditya has had a tough day too. He's lost both his games until now. Eric Hansen and Vincent Kaimar drawing against each other. Time for the standings now. Let's have a look at who's leading. We have Nadirbek back on the top with 13, leading along with Duda and Magnus Carlsen. Vincent Kaimar on number 4th position with 11 with Arjun Erigaisi. Mamedyarov number 6. Anish Giri moving up the ladder with 10 points. Vidit Gujarati on 9. Gukesh on 9. Richard Rapport on 7. Aditya Mittal on 5. And this is how things are right now. let's have a look at who's playing whom in the next round here, because this round is going to be very, very important. We have Anish Giri taking on Vincent Kaimar in the next round. Very important game. Vincent playing really well. Eric Hansen versus Aditya Mittal. Aditya Mittal has to make a comeback, and no better chance than this. Richard Rapport versus Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Duda versus David Anton. And guys, don't go away. Magnus Carlsen takes on Arjun Erigaisi. What a game this is going to be, with Arjun winning both his games today and now facing the boss, who's also won both his games. Magnus Carlsen versus Arjun. क्या ही मजा आने वाला है. We have Daniel Naroditsky taking on Vidit Gujarati. Woo! What a game that one will be. Daniel Naroditsky is right now feeling low because he lost his game from a winning position. Nils Grandelius versus Gukesh. That is another game that will be very, very exciting. Will Gukesh manage to recover? It would have been unbelievable if it was Gukesh versus Kaimar now in this round. Then it would have been complete Olympiad, because Kaimar is playing here, and in the Olympiad also he faced Vincent Kaimar over there. And Nodirbek once again takes another Indian on. He is facing Pentala Harikrishna. Harikrishna beat Nodirbek in the Olympiad. Can he repeat it again? By the way, before we get the next round rolling, guys, a very, very important announcement for all of you. Please do think about coming to Hyderabad for the DreamHack, because there is going to be epic chess events happening. Chess at DreamHack. DreamHack is one of the biggest gaming get-togethers in the world. In India, this is happening in Hyderabad this time from the 4th to 6th of November. Something like this will be there, and where you can meet your favorite gamers and all of that. But chess is going to happen at DreamHack. Samay Raina, Nordwin and Chessbase India are coming together to do this. There's going to be comedians on the board on 4th evening. There's going to be death match on the 5th evening between Gukesh and Arjun Erigaisi. What a match that will be. But more importantly, there is going to be a chance for all of you to play in an event that has 10 lakh rupees prize fund. 7.5 lakh rupees for Rapid, which will happen on 4th and 5th of November, and Blitz on 6th of November. And the entry fee is just 1200 rupees and 99 for everything. You can watch the COTB comedians over the board. You can watch the death match. You can play in both the events. You can also fight for the prize money here, guys. The first place is 1,50,000 in Rapid. There is also category prizes, best unrated prizes, best female prizes. There are also age group prizes of trophies and medals. So please do check it out. The link to book your ticket is in the description. I'm going to take some rest now. Arjun beat Magnus today. Nodirbek वर्सेस गुकेश डेथ मैच बढ़िया ही होगा भाई. अर्जुन वर्सेस मैग्नस, क्या ही मजा आने वाला है. रमित सेज Nodirbek, Gukesh, Magnus, Arjun. Sagar, does it happen that sometimes there are some players that you just find it really hard to beat despite convincingly beating people, beat those guys? Yes, absolutely. That happens a lot. That happens so much in chess, and that has happened over and over. Like, for example, Vishy Anand had this thing with Garry Kasparov where he found it very tough. I think many players had it with Garry, but if you look at it from this perspective, Nakamura struggled really hard against Magnus Carlsen. He had some 12 losses in classical chess before scoring one win. So that happens a lot. आयुष से सागर भाई, आपकी एनर्जी से मेरी टेस्ला चार्ज कर दो भाई. अगर आपने टेस्ला खरीदी है तो फिर तो क्या ही बोल सकते. Okay, very excited for Arjun versus. By the way, where is Amruta today? I am waiting for her to also join in because she mentioned that she would join in towards the later half of the day. Because that is when I feel sort of a bit tired. So I think Amruta may join me. Dave Erdal, thank you so much for your super chat. Kasparov had it with Ivanchuk. Sort of, yes. Mayur Gupta says, Sagar sir, thank you so much for playing chess with me. Today I enjoyed playing with you and learned a lot. Yeah, today some very good games. You know, guys, I'll tell you one very nice story that happened today. Okay, there was this one guy. He wanted to play with me in the club since 2 weeks, I think. Okay, and every time he would come towards the end and I would be like, okay, now I'm going back home, so I can't play. You know, it's already 7:30 and so on. So today he came a little early and he said, you know, I've been telling you to play. And I like, okay, let's play. So I opened the game with d4. Okay, let me do it on the chess based board because it'll be more, let's not spoil this. So you know, I opened the game with d4. He played knight f6, c4, e5. I was like, oh my god, this guy is tricky. He's playing the Budapest, definitely semi fan here. De, knight g4. And I was like, okay, fine. Bishop f4. This is my favorite line against the Budapest. Knight f3. He gave a check. I played knight d2. There's also knight c3, but I said, okay, I'll play positionally. Queen e7. I played e3. Okay, and he took here. And when I took, he started doing this. And I was like, hi, come on. You know, I've made basic opening chess traps. Okay, you can't fool me. And then he did it this, not even after taking. Okay, he was doing now. So when he took here, I told and I looked at him and I said, Kya blunder kar diya piece? And he did the acting, which was so nice, so nice. He was like, sir, and I was like, okay. And that was the moment where I was like, see, that feels like bone crushing. You know, when you don't take this piece and allow him to mate you, smothered mate. But this is the moment. It was very funny. It was very funny. Okay, I have the video of it also. Later on, I'll publish it. But it was very nice. Ramit says, last time Arjun faced Magnus, Magnus bullied him. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of lesser players lower rated and less talented than Arjun, that have given Magnus trouble, like Aditya. Well, the thing is, Ramit, that when last time Magnus played against Arjun, Magnus was in the best form of his life. You know, like he wanted to prove a point. It was also the moment where this sort of Magnus Hans controversy was going on, and it was very important for Magnus to win that event. And you know, there's a difference between a very highly motivated Magnus Carlsen and a normal Magnus Carlsen. It's you might argue with me, but I have seen it. If Magnus wants to win, but you know, even Magnus can't really create that situation on his own always. He needs that circumstances. He needs some things happening around him to be able to get into that energy zone. And I feel that right now, Magnus may not be in that sort of a form that he was in the last event that we saw Arjun and Magnus play. So that's why it'll be very interesting. Okay, let's all those who want to check the standings, here's one look at it so that you can see. Right column has the final score right now after 6 rounds. Abhinash Patowari says, go Hari, you have to beat Nadirbek. Yeah, next round will start in 1 minute from now. Tanmay Devi says, can you invite guests to commentate as well in the coming days? Maybe during the quarters, semis and finals. That would be nice. But yeah, I will try. Ujjwal says, love from Austria. Arey Ujjwal, nice to have you. Why didn't you go to watch ECC? It was in Austria. Kunal Gupta, yes, I have checked the mail. I will respond back. Okay, let's see. Let's go and start with the game of Magnus versus Arjun. And there we have, the game has begun. Magnus Carlsen, but where is Arjun? Here, guys, see his camera. Arjun! Arjun, please switch on your camera. Oh no. I think some issue with Arjun's cam. Okay, let's see what happens. D4 by Arjun, and maybe it'll fix on its own. G6, E4. D6, Magnus playing the same opening that he played with Arjun last time. Bishop G7, Bishop E3, A6. Queen D2. Okay. Okay. What he played, Bishop E3, A6, B5. Okay, long castle. Arjun, I really want to see Arjun, but okay, we can all imagine Arjun. Arjun looks the same. Calm. Okay, he goes knight D5, A5, and I'm sure Arjun has come prepared for this. Look at Magnus there, super. This is going to be very exciting because Arjun has not even double thoughts about keeping his king on the king side or queen side. He just castled into it and he's like, let's go, let's attack. Okay, Magnus, you have pawns coming up. I have already developed my pieces. I have castled and I am going in for the king side with h5. Okay, everyone's like, Magnus looking cute. Yeah, let's have a look at the game of which is the other game, Vidit versus Naroditsky. This is going to be a very, very important game and interesting game as well. Let's have a look at them. Oh, look at Naroditsky there. Oh, this is prep or what? No, come on, guys. I can tell you one thing. If you are playing the King's Indian against Naroditsky, against Vidit, be ready for his very dangerous weapon, fianchetto system. Because Vidit is one of the best exponents, I feel, of the fianchetto system against the King's Indian in the world. Bishop E3. Oh, Bishop E3. Actually, generally you play H3, right? And then you play Bishop E3. But here, there's no knight G4 coming at all. So then Bishop E3, knight E5 attacking here. Vidit defends it. And now the knight comes here with the defense here. Vidit would never ever give up this bishop. He goes Bishop F4. What did I say? Did I say something wrong? Exponent, right? What did I say? Proponent. Opponent. I don't know. Yeah, he's the best exponent of or proponent. Okay, now important move, knight D E2. Why? I'll tell you. They go. If you have a big house, okay, you bought a big house, you have all your loved ones living there, you don't want them to go away because then the big house will look empty. Here white has bought a big house, he has these pawns, so when black is saying कि चलो exchange करते हैं, white is like, sorry भाई, मैं exchange नहीं करूंगा because I have more space. Okay, so this is why Vidit will not exchange according to me, or he may decide to exchange. No, he does not. Of course, Vidit, all these guys, ये सब positional chess was all learned by these players when they were kids. They are all geniuses. A5, H4, H6. Now Magnus very smart, huh? Because he could have gone H5 as well. But here he sees that if he goes H5, knight will come and sit on the G5 square. So he's like, भाई मैं खेलता हूँ H6. So that Arjun, if he plays H5, I'll go G5. Arjun plays F3. Okay. Now Magnus is thinking. Knight D7 played. Oh, okay. I want to play knight. No, wait, I don't want to play knight h3. What is my future here of knight? Okay, can go to f4 from here. But the other idea could be that I want to go g4. Just expand. Oh, he expands. Arjun, where are you? We want to see you. Guys, this is Arjun Erigaisi versus Magnus Carlsen without getting to see Arjun Erigaisi. Wait, I will do something. ठीक है? Let's do something. करते ना दोस्तों थोड़ा जुगाड़. हाँ आ गया दोस्तों एक सेकेंड फोटो फोटो अरे दोस्तों आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग ओनली साउंड नो साउंड क्या बोल रहे हो आई एम नॉट स्पीकिंग एट ऑल सॉरी all good everything great we can all enjoy Arjun now on the screen so Arjun is back we can see him well very focused with nicely sitting there g4 e6 knight f4 on the board knight e7 here and very focused yeah Arjun is like really thinking now what to do he plays his king to b1 he's played his king to b1 and by the way let's also look at a few other games very quickly Gukesh versus Nils Grandelius. Whoa, Gukesh in trouble. Gukesh in trouble here. Let's have a look at what's happening. What is Gukesh up to? I think after his game against Naroditsky, he's definitely under some pressure. You know, you really feel like this time I wanted to. You know, guys, I am really hoping that Gukesh makes it to the top 8 and faces Naroditsky in a match. अरे क्या ही मजा आएगा क्या ही मजा आएगा that will be just too good match okay this is Nils versus Gukesh so Gukesh went okay Gukesh went for this b3 system takes knight takes a6 knight d2 b5 bishop e2 थोड़ा पिक हिल गया रहेगा हाँ अभी थोड़ा ऐसे करना all good guys great perfect bishop b7 bishop f3 knight d5 a4 e5 e4 e5 e4 knight f4 now Gukesh in trouble because the knight is coming to d3 square attacking the bishop knight c2 trouble meanwhile Naroditsky versus Pentala Harikrishna we really need to see if Hari can get the better of Naroditsky Abdusattorov here is Naroditsky on your screen where is Harikrishna he's also here अर्जुन को बार बार थोड़ा क्रॉप करना पड़ता है because every time we change it he looks a little different okay so what is this happening Harikrishna opened with c4 e5 here b4 bishop b2 d6, queen c2, bishop e6, takes, knight g3, a5, b5, a4, bishop e2, cb, knight b5, okay, bishop a5, bishop c3, takes. And Harikrishna somehow has a very small edge in the position against Naroditsky. I like, Harikrishna is the guy who can beat Naroditsky because Naroditsky is like fiery, he has this fire in him. But Harikrishna is that super calm, just relaxed guy. So if you take now on a5 here, rook takes a5. I was thinking if knight c7, if we can attack here. But here, there is a very cool move for black. Can anyone in the chat find, guys? Anyone can find the move? Yes, Vibhav Goyal, Madhu Mohan, Abhinav Dubey, Pushkar Jain, chess codes, Jayant, well done. Bishop c4, rook c5, and then I take here. No, not rook c5, because rook c5, 96, kya hi fork. And if you take here, then bishop e6, and white is slightly better. The move here is rook c8. Acha. But if I go rook c1, you can't take here, right? Because check, and then you lose the rook. But then you play rook c5. Oh my god. Guys, chess is too tough. Chess is also all about timing. There's too much dependent on timing. Okay. Meanwhile, I think Gukesh will fight back. Gukesh will definitely fight back. G3 on the board has to be played. What about Aditya Mittal? Aditya is playing against Erik Hansen. And Aditya has a nice position, by the way, guys. Very nice position. It was a Queen's Gambit, declined. And they've played a very quiet line. Sort of equal. Or equalish position. I can put Aditya also on the screen. We would love to see him. The young guy. Very talented youngster. Playing against Erik Hansen. Okay. What about Vidit Gujarati? Oh my god, how has Daniel Naroditsky gotten so much play against Vidit? Once again, a knight fg4, bishop f4 played, knight c6, Vidit went back, f5, okay. Vidit took, good move. I think queen d2 makes a lot of sense. You're just connecting your rooks, knight e5, bishop h6, fantastic move, queen d7, and now Vidit could have taken here, but instead he makes a big error. Big error. Because now black gets a very important move here. Guys, anyone who can find the move that Vidit has actually missed here, and if Daniel Naroditsky can find it. Not bishop h3, Smith. Smith, if you play bishop h3, I will take here, king takes, and play f4, and I am in complete control. But the move actually here is bishop g4. And the key point here is that you are attacking e2 with the rook looking here. So if you play, sorry, f3, f4, if it is played, then knight takes c4, boom. Because b takes c4, rook takes e2. That's the problem. And then when you play like rook e1 or other rook e1, let's say like this, then knight f3, check. Already trouble. Big trouble. So bishop g4, will Daniel, oh, he doesn't find it. Daniel plays bishop h8, and guys, Vidit would be very, very pleased right now. He can go rook e1 and then play f4. So rook e1, now if you play bg4, there is no real problems because f4, knight c4, you have bc4, the e2 rook, e2 knight is not hanging. Okay, let's go back to Arjun Erikaisi versus Magnus Carlsen, the big clash of the day. After king b1, bishop b7, Arjun develops his knight to e2, d5 on the board, and now knight to g3. Okay, Arjun is playing really well. Knight b6, queen e1, and Magnus comes in with his knight. Guys, look, first thing that comes to the mind of any grandmaster in such a position, and I'm not even a GM, so definitely GMs think this way. is to take, and push, because the king is in the center. And this would have been a fantastic way to play. If you go e5, I'll go back somewhere, and then later on, I can go h5 and really grind on the f5 square. So fantastic position here for Arjun. But Arjun drops back his bishop to c1. Now this is not out of respect, because Arjun is going all out anyway. Queen d6 by Magnus. Now Magnus is telling Arjun, bhai, push karo na. Push. Because once you push, position becomes closed. Once it's closed, Magnus goes here, and later on, he can play a4, b3. He can attack all he wants. But Arjun, will he actually get tempted to close the position? I don't think so, guys. Arjun is going to take here. I think he will take on d5. Because once he takes on d5, ed. This is crazy. Now, king is in the center. What can I do? I will play a powerful move. Guys, can you think of a powerful move that weakens the f5 square? I'm going to use a very important color here. f5 square, you need to weaken it. What's the move? Let's go. Samyak Jain, very good. Aryan Goswami, Parth Thakkar, World of Wit, Abhijit Chauhan, brilliant. h5, push karo, khush raho. Because when you play g5, knight jumps into f5, attacking the queen, the knight and the bishop. This is what you want. So this is going to be very, very exciting. Let's see. Oh, but Arjun does not take here. Arjun goes rook h2. Why did Arjun not take on d5? This is still a big question to me, because maybe he did not like knight takes d5. Did he? Why did he not take bishop d5? I will take, maybe I'll still play h5, because then I have knight d5 in hand. I'm still a little bit confused as to why, because these, you know, what I have realized is Magnus has sort of understood Arjun pretty well somewhere. And he realizes that these are the kinds of positions where Arjun does not play his best chess. Give him a straightforward position, which is sort of, you know, Arjun understands it well and he'll be a monster. But in positions where there are many captures and many things happening, I think Arjun sometimes doesn't play the most critical line, and that's what Magnus feels. But I think Arjun has a big plan in his mind. He wants to go rook e2 and open up the position. But look at what Magnus has done. Long castle on the board. Chum Chum says, close your engine. For sure, guys, I'm not even trying to debate here that I cannot even guess 90% of the moves that Arjun is playing. It's not at all something that I'm saying, oh, I can play better than Arjun. It's more like Arjun would usually, like if you see his games in certain kinds of positions, he's so accurate. He finds all the moves. But sort of here, he is struggling. Now, Vignesh says, damn, why did he castle? Because Vignesh, Arjun's idea was to take here and put his rook on e2 on the open e file. That was his plan. And that's why here when he castled, he now no longer has to worry about it, because after ed, if you go rook e2, now the knight can actually move. It's not pinned. So in spite of his king being so sort of airy here, there is so much space in this position. Azam Ek says, why not short castle? Well, if you play short castle, then after g5, h5, some sacrifice on h5, and the king is completely ripped open. Now, okay, not here. First, you need to save your rook. First, close it and then take it. And then white is clearly better. Okay, let's quickly go. By the way, Arjun closes the position now with e5, queen b6 on the board. Exciting position. What is Vidit doing? Vidit is up to a nice position with knight c3, knight d5. Okay, looking good for Vidit here. slightly better. Later, with good prep, he will go f4, maybe with h3 first. He's looking solid. Gukesh, meanwhile, has fought back in the position with some very weird maneuvers, trying to get rid of the knight, brought his bishop here. Nils, definitely not in best form of his life. Will find it a little bit tough, because if you were to play rook d8, there is already knight f3 hitting the queen and you lose the piece. What about Harikrishna? Harikrishna, Hari has had a very tough event. If we look at the standings just here, we will see Harikrishna on the bottom of the table right now with just 2 points. He has lost 1, 2, 3, 4 games and 2 draws out of 6. So he is struggling big time. But he comes against the leader of the tournament, Naroditsky Abdusattorov, and he has a fine position. You may ask why. Well, the reason is Harikrishna is a pawn up. He has just won a pawn where Naroditsky went knight c5. Hari said, Abdusattorov, why did you give me a free pawn on e5? Because knight b3, rook a2, rook c8, rook c2, rook d8, h3, h6 played. And also 11 minutes for Harikrishna. Pawn up, looking good, looking great. Hari all set to beat Naroditsky here. Let's see if he manages to do that. Meanwhile, Vidit has brought his bishop back. What is up with Arjun versus Magnus? So after e5, queen b6, c3, knight c6 played. I think this game is definitely sort of moving towards Magnus's favor. What do you think, guys? Because look at all the black pieces nicely positioned now, and white pieces which were aggressively posted on the king side somehow not being able to make the best out of it. If you play h5, there is g5. If you play g5, there is h5. Ishan Garg is like center ko band kyun kar diya? Yeah, I think what happened was Arjun playing this rook h2 move got a bit late. He had to take and play h5 here. And then after long castle, hg, fg and knight e6, he would have had like a huge advantage here. So that timing was important. And once Magnus long castled, Arjun closed it. And now knight c6, okay, king a1, decent move, but Magnus will play a4. You know what Magnus will do? He'll play a4, he'll play a3. He'll do that. Can you explain how VD can convert his position? I often get these positions with more space and opponents slightly. Yeah, okay, I'll explain. See, this is the position, okay? Now this is weak. Somehow this pawn also looks a little bit suspect. But the main thing is that you have to try and sort of, let's say, this king will eventually become weak. So the more space you have, the more you can convert it into something. So here you can play bishop d4, okay, bishop takes d4, queen takes d4. Now what happens is, yes, there is one weakness, you need to create one more. So knight e4, knight f6 is one. The second is h4, h5, then you can push in h6. This is problem. Rook h1 can come in, rook e1 you can also exchange, augmenting this weakness. It's always about, you should not rush into pushing your pawns like this. Then your pawns also become weak. Just be calm, maybe exchange the most critical pieces and create another weakness. That's important. Parth Thakkar says Arjun will turn this around. Believe me, Arjun OP. Okay, Parth, let's see. Let's see if that happens. A4 played by Magnus. Classy move. Knight d3 by Arjun, attacking the b4 pawn. telling Magnus, bhai, le lo, take it. And now Arjun can take back and maybe try and use his rook on this later on. But Magnus is like, bishop f8. He takes into control the c5 square. f4. Okay, let's go, guys. Let's go. What Arjun wants to do now is he wants to play f5. What we were talking about, these knights being a little bit locked up. Check Shak game, another amazing sacrifice. What Shakriyar Mamedyarov won? Oh, he beat Richard Rapport. भाई क्या चल क्या रहा है भाई शक्रियार मामेद्यारो. ठीक है, अपन एकदम ऐसा मस्त कमेंट्री करता है. ठीक है, शक्रियार मामेद्यारो विद द ब्लैक पीसेस. e4 e5 नाइट f3, नाइट को डेवलप किया g3. क्या g3 मूव, d3 d5. ठीक है, मारा क्वीन को लेके आए, खोलेंगे पोजीशन. नाइट c3 पिन, नाइट g5. अरे भाई ये क्वीन मर रहा है, ये नहीं मर रहा है बिकॉज बिशप इज हियर. बिशप g4 attacking the queen. Okay, queen d2, take on c3 because भाई पिन ब्रेक हो गया ना यहाँ पे. पिन, so knight d5 is hanging, so takes, long castle, short castle, knight e5, not a good move, but who cares. c4, queen d4, attacking the rook. Rook b1, attacking here with the bishop opening up. He goes h6, queen b4. नहीं भाई ये मारना था इधर e4. That would have been a nice move, but okay, he plays queen b4, hg, bishop b2, and what was this move? Oh my god, what a move. Queen attacked the queen, and he goes boom. Wow, what a move. What a bone-crushing move. I think knight f3. No. If you play knight f3, bishop f3, and queen b5 check. Important move. Very important. And this is fine. But actually the winning move here is rook takes g2, king takes g2, bishop f3, king here, and now rook h8. Because if you go queen b5, I have c6. And if you go queen b7, I have king e6. And there is no way to stop this mate. Wow. What a finish. Rook g2. Very important move. Amazing. And if you take here, check here, king back, knight f3 check, bishop f3, mate. Too good. Mamedyarov is amazing. You know, you have to love him. The way he plays chess. Okay, coming back to Arjun Erigaisi's game. After bishop f8, f4, he goes bishop a6, f5. Okay, Arjun is like, खोलेंगे हम position, पूरा खोलेंगे king side पे. पर Magnus Carlsen is going all out on the queen side. He wants to play a3. Can he play a3, guys? Not yet, I think, because of ba. And if you play ba, then everything is sort of, king is very safe a1 pe. So how does Magnus actually use all the tricks that he has and open the position? He goes b takes c3. Okay, I think Arjun will do well to take back with the pawn. Yes, he does. Oh, king d7. Now it's Magnus's time to start threatening. Oh my god, look at Magnus's idea. He wants to go rook b8 and mate. So let's suppose, okay, I take this, you take back, and I remove my bishop here. Okay, rook b8. Now let's say I just make a waiting move. I'm just trying to sort of understand the position. Let's say rook c1. Then he goes knight 6 a5. And then he wants to maybe come in knight b3 check. Okay, all sorts of ideas here, all sorts of very brutal ideas. Also bishop a3, not to be underestimated. Let's say I go rook g2, waiting, check, takes, with queen coming here, it's over. So this is somehow what Magnus wants. Okay, with king d7, he's telling Arjun, I want to come to b8 and I want to checkmate you. That is what he wants. Can Vidit convert this is also a question that is asked in the chat. I think with its position looks, oof. See, this is where you lose balance. This is where Vidit, after knight here, let's say bishop d4, very good move, takes knight g5. Daniel Naroditsky actually doing it the right way. He's threatening this. Vidit goes and chops this pawn c5, queen b6, and now queen h3 has to come in. But Vidit says after king g1, I'm fine. So actually Vidit is a pawn up. He also has the d5 square for his knight. Positionally, Vidit is winning. But tactically, with queen h3, rook d7, maybe the rook swinging over, the rook's doubling down the f file, it can get risky for Vidit. So the position still very, very complicated. What about Harikrishna versus Nadirbek? It's sort of getting complicated. Nadirbek says, I'm not going to lose to you, Hari. This time I want to fight back. It is complex. Still, Hari is a pawn up. Naroditsky comes rook e3, but it seems like an error because Vidit can go knight d5. It's a very difficult move to make because after rook e2, you have to play rook f2, takes, and now you can't go queen h3, by the way, because rook hangs. But you could play queen h3 directly, and here you have to find king h1, rook f2, queen d8, king g7, queen f6 check. If you go king here, it's a mate. So king h6, queen f8 check, king here, and knight f4 mate. So that's the reason why Vidit should actually find knight d5, allowing rook e2, rook f2, queen h3. Can Vidit do that with 5 minutes on the clock? He is looking really sharply at the board, but he must find it. Knight d5, queen h3, king h1 here, or even king g1. That would win. But I think he would be really afraid of rook e2 because this move, you have to find this. If you play king g1, knight f3, and you are busted. Because if king h1, boom, 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 black wins. So that is how tough the position is. It's like, it's a two-sided knife. Very, very sharp knife. Meanwhile, after fe6, Arjun goes queen f2, Magnus goes rook b8. Now Arjun has to come in. Not take the bishop, just come in here. Because if you go here, bishop f7, bishop e7, check. And now where does the king go? Let's look at it carefully. King can go here, king can go here. Let's say if the king goes here, then you play this very, very nice move, queen g6, looking here, and this square is controlled by the rook. Oh, he gives a check. Oh my goodness, is Arjun Erigaisi going to turn this around, guys? Arjun Erigaisi, look at his expression, absolutely calm, cool and composed. He is not at all feeling anything. Magnus Carlsen's king under check. Where does the king go? Okay, bishop e7 अपन ने देखा है यार, खत्म हो जाएगा. इधर आएगा check, king d8, then knight e6, queen g6, all of this. If king c8, same business, queen e6, queen d7, mate होने वाला है. So Magnus has to play. Look at this line, guys. King d8, हाँ, king d8 खेलना पड़ेगा Magnus को, and then Arjun has to find a classy move. Guys, can you find it? Classy move, मजा ही आ जाए. Guys, Arjun camera is not frozen because Arjun's camera was not working. We have put a picture of him which looks very, very identical to how he would sit generally on the board. Okay. No, look at this move. This is beautiful move. हाँ, मैग्नस कार्लसन के भी चेहरे पे थोड़ी दुविधा है, टेंशन में. Did Vidit play knight d5 by the way? Just curious, very curious. No, Vidit went knight e4 because this was important moment. Now it's equal. Anyway, let's go back to the game. Bishop e7 played. Knight c5. Let's go. By the way, I was talking about queen f7, king d8, bishop h6 here. Oops, not bishop g5, bishop h6. Because if you take bishop takes h6, there is queen f6 and then this is hanging. And if you go king d7, there is knight c5. This was the problem. But he goes knight c5 check, king d8 on the board. He didn't go, by the way, he didn't go king c8 because queen e6 and queen d7 mate. So he went king d8. And now Arjun has a choice. He can take on e6. He can take on g6. He can take here on g6, defend this square. because Magnus is threatening mate in 1. But Arjun is in control. Dosto, Arjun is totally in control here. Queen g6, maar do Arjun. Le lo. Le lo. Manraj Hanjra. What does Manraj Hanjra say? Everyone saying +1, +1, +1. What is happening? I don't know. Sir, job dila do. Arey, kaun sa job? Magnus nodding his head. What happened to Sleepy Shah? I don't know, guys. What is happening to me today? But Arjun cannot take this pawn क्योंकि इधर game खत्म. इधर mate है. There's mate in 1. Mate in 1 threatened. What is Arjun Erigaisi going to do? Arjun Erigaisi. Oh, he takes on g6. What a move, Arjun Erigaisi. Excellent move. Beautiful move. Defending the b1 square. Mukund Arora says, what about bd3? Mukund, this is also possible, but then there are some tactics like knight e5, de, and then bishop takes c5. So instead of doing this stuff, Arjun says, let me just play this. Because now if you play knight e5, there is knight e6 check, and it gets really complicated because my knight now no longer is hanging on c5. Okay, he takes on e5. But now take it. This was the point. Let's go, Arjun. Take on e6. See, you can even take this. Yes, he takes on e6. Arjun Erigaisi chops off the pawn on e6. Okay. Now what? King d7. King d7 only move, right? Otherwise, you're just losing a piece. So he must play king d7. Did Nadirbek win? Nadirbek won against Hari. I can't believe it. What happened there? But we will come back to that game. Now, knight e6 check. Magnus is gone. Magnus is losing. Guys, it's over. Because let's say king d7, I play de, you take this, I take your queen, you take this, and now in this position I go knight h5, it's just over, knight check, too many problems. This is what has happened. He played de, queen e6, did he know he's not taken it? Queens are on the board. I think Arjun should take it. Just count the pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arjun is a pawn up. But oh, what? Arjun goes queen e4. But Arjun, you could have taken the queen, no? Then you are winning. But Arjun says, no, I want to finish him in the middle game. Now I want to threaten to take this because the pawn is pinned. Excellent move, by the way. It's a good move. But Magnus will go king c6 here. Yes, and he does it. Magnus, Carlsen, and now Arjun goes queen f5. Okay. Tricky Arjun. Arjun anyway wanted to exchange the queens, but he was like, aisa nahi, अपन aisa exchange करेंगे. Okay, interesting. Let's keep it for the time being as it is so that we don't change the alignment of Arjun's photo. Takes, okay, pawn takes, or we can even take, I mean, pawn takes would be two strong pawns because you can't take knight e5, but he takes with the knight, okay, attacking the bishop. Bishop comes to c5. Now, let's look at it carefully because the knight can be taken if you want. Why not? I was thinking if we can trade, takes, and trade this off, bishop e3. But this is what you shouldn't do with Magnus. Yeah, h5, strong move. Hey. How about just winning this pawn? That's a nice juicy pawn. So we can take on c4, take here, and take this pawn. And then we are 2 pawns up. Nice. Let's do it. I think you can also go straight and take it. But why not? Okay, he went straight and took it. And now a3 by Magnus Carlsen. Magnus wants to come in with his rook here. Guys, Arjun Erigaici has two extra pawns in this position. He is in control here and he is moving towards confidently towards his first ever win against Magnus Carlsen. Bishop takes c4, good move. Bishop takes c4, pushes his pawn to e6. Okay, h5, maybe pushing here was better, but he goes here. Magnus goes rook e8. Magnus, very, very dangerous opponent in winning positions because he just doesn't allow you to win. Okay, rook e1. Let's go. Defend this pawn. Well done, Arjun. Defends his pawn on e6. Dia Mehra says this will be draw. Oh, I have my doubts. I have my doubts. By the way, bishop d3. Now, threatening rook e6, not really, because this is a check. There is no mate here. Knight d4. Arjun plays his knight to d4. Arjun has to be super careful. He has 1 minute on the clock, and Magnus is extremely difficult to beat in such positions because Magnus generally very resourceful. You know, when you corner a lion and you want to hunt it, it's the most dangerous at that point. It will just sort of scramble for its life. It will give you the most difficult time. Okay, knight d4, Magnus down to 53 seconds. He takes, okay, pawn takes. Let's play. Yes, pawn takes, rook b4. Okay, Magnus wants this pawn. Can Arjun find this move rook h3, which is sort of tricky, but it's not so easy to find. I mean, rook h3, if rook d4, there is bishop, no, rook d1, and then you win this material. Oh, he finds it. He finds rook h3. These are the types of moves that give you the win. Now, can you take on a3? Okay, there's also another amazing move, e7, because if you take here bishop f8, no, come on, e7, Arjun, can you find e7? मतलब फिर ओके ये पॉन भी मार सकते हो यू कैन टेक a3 but e7 is so such a sony move. Okay, he goes rook a3. Magnus takes here. Fine. Check. Trade one pair of rooks. It will be very helpful. Then Magnus can't checkmate you. Bishop f4. Okay, now Magnus can win the pawn. धक धक ओपी गाइस धक धक तो हो रहा है rook takes d4 and now no, this is not easy. Although the engine is shouting that white is winning, I don't believe it because too many things have complicated. Check. Okay. Where does Magnus's king go? By the way, oh, rook c4 blunder. His blunder takes it. Check. जीत गया. Arjun has won. Magnus Carlsen is like, I'm blundered. And it's over, guys. Arjun Erigaici is going to win this. He's going to bring his king up. He has two passers here. Pawn push. Magnus had to play king b5 here. He should not have played rook c4. Takes, check. King here, rook e6. What we are going to miss terribly at this point of time is Arjun's final expression. I wanted to see it. That little smile on his face. a4. Let's go. g60. Winning. Everything's winning. कहां से मिलेगा अर्जुन का फाइनल एक्सप्रेशन दोस्तों क्या अर्जुन takes bishop g7, bishop d5, now a4. Okay, he's going here. Then he'll push this pawn, push it till here. Okay. Did Magnus resign? He knows the writing is on the wall. Resign button. Oh, Arjun Erikaisi beats Magnus Carlsen. What a match! What a match! What a game! What a nice game! Loved it. I mean, Magnus played really well, but Arjun, in the key moment, managed to beat, find those little moves. And also, the real thing was when he found, like, Magnus made a mistake with King D7. He took here, found this good move, found another good move. Almost either mate in one है, पर वो उसके opponent के king पे गया. That is what Arjun does. Takes here, queens are traded, and then takes the pawn. In the end, it was getting really dangerous. But Arjun, I think Magnus made this key error. Because if he had gone here, the game would have still been complex. But when he played this, not just one pair of rooks got traded, but also the other, which is what Magnus, I think, missed. He was very angry with himself. And there you have Arjun Erikaisi winning his first ever encounter against the world champion. What a great victory this is. Guys, Arjun OP ho jaye. And let's go to Vidit's game because that's still going on. What? King and pawn endgame. Okay, draw. Is it a draw? Is it an easy draw? Yeah, this is a draw. Okay, draw. This game is drawn. And what a round we have had. Oh, Anish is still playing. Anish is playing against Vincent. It's a draw. And what about this? This is also a draw. David Anton Jan Sistov. Gukesh won against Nils. Oh, big result. But the biggest result is Arjun. Argman. The man who is absolutely calm, cool and composed. Arjun Erikaisi wins against Magnus Carlsen. We had no video of Arjun. So we used his picture here. And that's why we couldn't see his final expression. But I am sure he's elated at this moment as he has managed to beat the world champion for the first time in his life. And there we have Abdusattorov still leading and Arjun Erikaisi on number 2. Gukesh number 7, Vidit number 9. Okay. Let's look at a couple of games that are going on. I think all over, yeah. Yeah, Duda and this. It's going to, games are going to end soon. But Harikrishna really struggling. I'm very surprised as to how Harikrishna lost. Because let's just have a quick look at how he lost. Because Queen C3, this was like, I mean, Hari is the one who's pressing, right? Something went terribly wrong. He went knight C2, which is a mistake. Rook here. Threat is now maybe to take on D3, rook D3 and rook C2. So he went knight B4, knight D2. Wow. Not tactics. Because if you take here, I take here, you take here, I give you a check, you went here, I take this and this is winning for black. Okay. So rook D1, rook B2, knight C2 and now knight B1. भाई क्या ही ट्रैप किया है रुक को कोई जगह ही नहीं है मूव करने को. Rook can't go to B3, rook can't go to A3, it's a trap. Wow. What a beautiful rook trap. And Hari resigned. Okay, how about Gukesh? How did he win? Because Gukesh's position was a little bit suspect. Then he got equality. Okay. This is still looking equalish. Guys, why is this a blunder? Can anyone tell me? Why is this a huge blunder? पार्थ ठक्कर से सागर भाई कीधु तूने अर्जुन जीत से पार्थ ठक्कर giving it to you there. You were the one who had mentioned that Arjun will win, and amazing. Yes, Rook G7, Yug Sonigara, Akshay, Shreyas Gokhale, Sand Test, Abhinav, Parth, very good. Rajesh Magnani says Arjun proved you wrong, Sagar bhai. He plays complicated positions equally good. Absolutely, I'm very happy to be proven wrong. Amazing game. By the way, if King H6 here, Rook C4 is a killer move with a mate here. Like Rook check, King here, and F4 mate. So that's why he went King G8. Rook C7, Queen D4. If Rook D7, you can't play because I take and then I take on B8. So therefore he played Queen D4, Queen E6, King H8, Queen F7, threatening a checkmate in 1, and white wins. Nice win for Gukesh. Okay, now for the standings with all the updated ones. 2 Indians in top 8. This is the second day of the tournament. There are 2 more days of preliminaries, 15 rounds in all. Last round of the day about to begin. It's going to be epic. Let's look at which are the main rounds that are going to be played in the last round of today, guys. बहुत ही मजा आ रहा है आज. बहुत सारे amazing games, and guys, as we see, it's Anish Giri versus Nodirbek Abdusattorov in the next round, and Anish has had a very tough time against Nodirbek. ठीक है, बहुत tough. Harikrishna versus Nils Grandelius, very interesting game. Both Nils and Hari are struggling. Let's see who manages to win. Gukesh versus Daniel Naroditsky. By the way, Vidit not being able to win against Naroditsky was a small little setback, but guys, don't go away. Don't go away. We have Vidit Gujarati versus Magnus Carlsen coming up. क्या ही मैच आ रहा है आज रोज दोस्तों. दिल की धड़कने थाम के बैठिएगा. Arjun Erigaisi takes on Jan Sistov Duda, another cracker of an encounter. David Anton Guyaro against Shakhriyar Mamedyaro. Will Mamedyaro create another brilliancy? Richard Rapport takes on Eric Hansen, and Aditya Mittal and Vincent Kaimar. Whoa, that's also going to be amazing. We have 5 more minutes before the next round begins. Before that, as I have been talking about here, we have DreamHack, which is happening in Hyderabad, 4th to 6th of November, guys. Please do make sure that you come there because it's a chess festival. It's the biggest gaming festival that happens in India, with gamers from all across the world who come there and play all sorts of different games. And this time they said, why not include chess? Because chess is something that's so popular. All of you are playing chess and we want more people to join in. And that's why chess is at DreamHack. This is by Nodwin, Samay and Chessbase India, and it will be a beautiful atmosphere. We will have Samay there, we will have all the comedians there, Biswa and Tanmay and Vaibhav and Anirban and Sumit and Joel and Manik. They will play comedians over the board. There is also going to be an epic death match between Gukesh and Arjun. Now you see these 2 youngsters in this, they're playing so amazing chess. Arjun just beat Magnus Carlsen, and all of a sudden we'll be looking at them watching and they are going to play the death match. मजा ही आ जाएगा. This will happen on 5th of November. We did the first death match in Mumbai between Anish and Vidit, and now the second death match will happen in DreamHack. And then you can play yourself Rapid and Blitz. 10 lakh rupees prize fund, 7.5 lakh rupees in Blitz, 2.5 lakh rupees in 7.5 lakh in Rapid, 2.5 lakh in Blitz, with lot of prizes, best female prizes, rating category prizes, age group prizes, top 25 prizes, and you will have a lot of fun. The tickets are in the description for all of this 3-day program. It is $12.99. We are also going to have Life is Unfair Simul on the last day, where Samay Raina is going to give a simul to all the age group category winners. ये एक छोटा सा simul है which we are going to reveal very soon. बहुत मजा आएगा. Samay will play against all the tough opponents in a simul. वो सबको simul देगा, but कैसे? Life is unfair, guys. We are going to change the rules very slightly. We'll see that later on. Please stay tuned. Okay. सागर भाई नींद भगाने के लिए 6 कप कॉफी पी के आए. भाई ये क्या ही कर सकते. समय ट्वीटेड. समय भाई ने ट्वीट किया है. व्हाट डिड ही ट्वीट? लेट्स लुक एट ट्विटर बिफोर द नेक्स्ट राउंड बिगिंस. इस समय नो ही डिडंट ट्वीट. अर्जुन एरिगाइसी. ही पुट फायर. क्या बात है, क्या बात है. लेट्स रीट्वीट गाइस. लेट्स गो एंड रीट्वीट अर्जुन एरिगाइसी. इट्स हिज फेवरेट डायलॉग. अर्जुन हैड डन दिस. फायर है अपन, फायर झुकेगा नहीं. That's what he had said, and today he showed it on the board by not bowing down to Magnus Carlsen. क्या ही खेलते हैं यार ये लोग. मतलब सोचो ना यार दोस्तों, वर्ल्ड्स बेस्ट प्लेयर को यू सॉर्ट ऑफ डिड मैग्नस ट्वीट. दोस्तों आज मेरी बैटरी तो खत्म नहीं हुई, लेकिन फोन की बैटरी जरूर खत्म हो चुकी है. तो इसके लिए फोन को चार्जिंग पे रखा है. एंड अब होगा एक बहुत ही कड़ा मुकाबला, क्योंकि विदित गुजराती इज गोइंग टू फेस मैग्नस कार्लसन. दोस्तों तो ये गेम बहुत मजा आने वाला है, बिकॉज विदित हैज अंटिल नाउ नेवर एवर beaten Magnus Carlsen in his chess career in any format. So, can Vidit make history today by beating Magnus just like how Arjun did for the first time ever? There we have Vidit on the screen. He has been unbeaten today. He beat Naroditsky in the first game. Then he drew against Naroditsky. And I think one more game he played, right? Today, what did Vidit do in round number 2 against Nils? He drew with Nils. So he's unbeaten today. And he has the black pieces against the world champion. Magnus Carlsen and Magnus Carlsen coming from a loss are two different Magnuses. Ooh, रक्षित क्या बात है. अनिश भाई बेस्ट चेस खेलो, ये मैच जीतना है. हाँ अनिश गिरी को रखते हैं अपन स्क्रीन पे. Naroditsky वर्सेस अनिश is actually one of those games which you can not afford to miss. Naroditsky always beats Anish Giri. Is it Anish Giri? I mean, not always. Anish has beaten Naroditsky in the past, but Naroditsky I think has a plus score. Abdusattorov has a look at that face, yeah, confident. Like Naroditsky has the champion's look, no, on his face. Like, solid आदमी है, solid है. And who else? Let's also have Arjun Erigaisi versus Jan Sistov Duda. Duda on the screen. अर्जुन का कैमरा शुरू हो गया कि नहीं? अरे यार अर्जुन भाई, अब कैमरा शुरू करके क्या मतलब है? मैग्नस के वक्त शुरू करते, बट लुक एट अर्जुन देयर. व्हाट अ लुक, व्हाट अ लुक आफ्टर बीटिंग मैग्नस. मजा. And who else we'll have on our screen? Let's have Aditya Mittal. Oh, there we have Magnus Carlsen has arrived. Aditya Mittal and Vincent Kaimar को रखते हैं because Vincent Kaimar has been playing so well and it would be nice to watch this game between the two youngsters. Hoodie Gambit declined. Oh, let's see. Let's go. Magnus Carlsen. क्या ही खेलेगा? Guys, what will be Magnus's first move? My guess is Magnus will play B4. No, he's not in B4 mood. Wait. Galat. He will play knight F3. Oh, he goes D4. ठीक है, D4 खेल. Knight F6, C4, E6. Okay. Knight C3. Come on, Magnus. Okay, knight F3, D5. He'll go Catalan. He'll play Catalan. Oh, he plays CD, ED, and knight C3. This is new Magnus stuff, yeah? Okay, let's go C6. Yes. And now he will play some bishop F4. Let's go bishop F5. Hoodie is back. Hoodie is back on Magnus. Also, let's have Gukesh on the screen. Gukesh को screen पे रख के मजा आता है. Okay, bishop F4. Let's go bishop F5 with it. Pragyan Chaurasya says, although Indian youngsters have beaten Magnus, it was also Magnus who blundered in crucial moment. How do we look at that? You know, Pragyan, the nature of chess is such that a side cannot win unless someone makes a mistake. So, you know, to induce Magnus to go wrong, you have to make good moves. And that's what Arjun did in the last game. So I would say that we have to really applaud Arjun for keeping his calm when Magnus was attacking him and to find that counterplay with F5, getting his queen into the position and playing there. It was brilliant. Brilliantly done. Okay. Very straightforward game until now. I think bishop F5 will be played by Vidit. If he plays BD3, he will exchange. But Magnus goes queen B3 and he says no interest for exchanging stuff. Queen E7 defending B7 by Vidit. Ooh, what is this angle? Magnus looking at it from this angle, attacking here. Bishop G6, bishop E6. Okay. Let's have a look at the game of Anish Giri versus Nodirbek. Anish with white opens with D4, knight F6, C4, E6, knight F3, B6. Ooh, Queen's Indian. It's kind of a rare guest these days. B3, bishop B4 check, BD2, bishop E7, bishop G2, D5, CD, ED, castles, knight C3. Okay, this is kind of a position which Anish likes, and I think he will have good chances against Nodirbek here. Interesting. Okay. Next game, Arjun Erigaisi versus Jan Shistov Duda. And Arjun has pushed his pawn to E5. Okay, bishop G4, H3, bishop F3, queen F3, E6, A3, knight D7, knight C3, bishop E7, BD2, castles, G4, DC4, bishop C4, E5. Okay, E5 on the board. Okay, let's go G5. Okay, if you go G5, where will the knight go? Knight, I mean, you don't want to go to E8 because then H4. And if you take here, I take. Anyway, I'm castling long. And then these pawns coming at you. So maybe to G5, you want to take ED. But then after ED, what do you do? Okay, knight D5. Maybe Arjun gives up this pawn and plays it this way. Okay. G5 played by Duda. Interesting. Let's go back to Vidit versus Magnus. So after knight h4, Vidit did not want to preserve his bishop. He went bg6. Knight takes g6, h g6. Okay. Magnus says, "Bhai, ab mere paas hai bishop." Vidit says, भाई मेरे पास है 2 नाइट. पर मैग्नस कहता है बट तुम नाइट डेवलप कैसे करोगे, बिकॉज इफ यू डेवलप योर नाइट यू विल लूज द पॉन. Vidit says that I am thinking, can you turn the board on Arjun's side? Yes, I will do that. Actually, for Vidit, it's a slightly tricky position because it's one of those, you know, वो वाला पता है, वो वाला जो दुखता है अपने को, मतलब उंगली थोड़ा सा कट हुआ है. It's paining very slightly, but it's not paining enough that you will spend time to go to the doctor. Nice. A5 is a very interesting move because see, if you go knight d7, he will take here. Okay. If you play knight a6, he will take here and spoil your structure. So Vidit is like, I will play a5 and then play knight a6 so that if you take, I will take with my rook. Devin Anand says queen c7 by knight d7, but Devin, the problem is if you put your queen here, it's on a semi-open file. So after rook c1, you can't play knight d7 because of, what is the problem? Yes, Shreyas Gokhale, Pratham, Gabbu, chess is fun. No, not Devin, not knight b5, because then you can play queen b6. The move is knight d5. You can win a pawn now. CD, rook c7. And if knight d5, there is queen d5, CD and rook c7. So white wins a very crucial pawn. That's the reason why Vidit doesn't want to put his queen here. He would love to get his queen to b6. So actually, this could be an idea to put your queen here and play such a position. But Vidit chose the other option, which was to play a5. And now Magnus goes a3. And I think Vidit will go knight a6. That seems like the most logical move to play. Meanwhile, Aditya Mittal has just blitzed out his opening. Like Aditya Mittal, kahan se, matlab, preparation is so good. Look at him. C5 takes here, D4. Okay, this is, I think, this is becoming quite popular, this line. BD5 takes, rook e1, rook e8, knight e5, he took on G2, queen d5 check, queen f3. Is the d4 pawn slightly weak? Could be. Okay, let's go to Arjun's game. Arjun versus Duda doesn't look good for Arjun at all, because after g5, ed4, he took back. Arjun, instead of playing actively with knight d5, he went knight e8, h4 on the board, knight b6, bishop a2, knight to d6 played. So Duda is having a great position because of the space, the very powerful bishop, and his king going long side, and the idea of h5 and g6 incoming. Even, you know, guys, let's say for example I long castle, just as an example, rook c8, you can very seriously think about this, take and h5, and then opens up this position completely like this. I think Arjun in big trouble here, quite a big trouble. If he manages to save this, I'm going to be super impressed, because you know, when he saved it with Naroditsky, okay, Naroditsky is not a full-time professional chess player, but if he does that with Duda, that would be something. Bishop f4, good move by Jan Shistov. What is Vidit doing now? Let's quickly check. A3, knight a6 by Vidit. Rook f e1 by Magnus. Maybe somewhere Magnus is looking for e4, but not really. He's waiting. And with it goes queen d6. I'm a bit surprised with this move. Because what did Vidit have in his mind when he played queen d6? I think in his mind was, if you take here, I will play. Guys, anyone? How to finish it off? Yes, Asim, knight g4 is a nice move, threatening mate in 1. But he'll go g3 there. Something stronger. Yes, rook f b8 traps the queen. Queen has nowhere to go. It's over. So, queen d6, queen takes b7, there is rook f b8, but Magnus takes here. And Magnus asks Vidit, did you mean that now you are going to play b takes a6? Because if you take here, you have spoiled everything. This is weaker, totally weak. So, and if you were to take rook a6, now I will take this and your rook is hanging. So I think Vidit is in trouble here because after ba6, his pawn structure has been compromised here. And after rook e2, I mean, what is rook e2 exactly? Let's think. I think the main issue is rook b8 and then he wants to go queen a4 and b2 is hanging. So that's why he played rook e2. So that if rook b8, he can go queen a4. But rook e2, c5. Okay. I think Vidit has played this in a way where it is right up Magnus's style. You know, rook d1. This is definitely chance for Vidit. Push. Let's push because see, if he had taken here, and rook d1, rook d2, knight e2, knight f4, put pressure here. Come on, that's just this is torture. But once you go rook d1, you are offering with it the opportunity to push c4 and make b2 a weakness. I'm sure Vidit's going to take it. Why not? Yes, queen a4. Okay. a5 is hanging. How do you save a5? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Queen b6. Putting pressure here, defending a5. Yeah, Arjun in trouble. What about Gukesh? How is Gukesh doing? Gukesh is playing against Daniel Naroditsky, and Gukesh has played some, you know, Gukesh. He's a very quick learner. He learned this from Magnus's games, and he's playing this with black. Nice position for Gukesh here. I would say bishop pair. Got a complex position against Daniel Naroditsky. He should be able to put pressure. Okay. Magnus actually likes the fact that Vidit has locked up the position and he wants to play f3 and e4. So he goes f3. AG game, AG game. Let's look at Anish. Ooh, क्या position? बढ़िया. Actually, Anish is pawn down. Anish has sacked a pawn here with b5. Very interesting pawn sack. Because with this, he has weakened the d5 square. And after CB, queen b3, rook d8, he goes rook c2 and now rook c8. But that means that now he's going to lose this pawn. But how do we take it? Like here, or do you do like rook b1 attacking this pawn, forcing him a6 and then taking here? Let's say like this. I think black has good drawing chances, but white is the one pushing. Meanwhile, Harikrishna against Nils Grandelius. Hari is slightly worse here. c6 is weak, but he's fighting on. Okay. What about Arjun? No, guys, this is not going to work out. I don't see how Arjun saves this. Anyone in the chat thinks Arjun can save this? Completely losing. Because, I mean, there's no play. White king is sitting in his castle, just relaxed, while the black king has an impending storm coming up his face. Yeah, he'll save this. B file counterplay, but I don't see it. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to work. But let's look at Vidit's game. Because I have a feeling that Vidit here has recovered a bit. After f3 goes rook d8 and he tells Magnus, look Magnus, you can't go e4 straight up. You know, e4 खेलेगा तो फिर pawn मरेगा ना. So Magnus says, okay Vidit bhai, I respect your understanding. I go queen c2. Vidit says, now I'll put my rook here. Magnus goes queen d2. And here Vidit goes rook e7. Now he is telling Magnus, do you still want to go e4? Because after this I will take. And yes, while all the pressure is on the e4 pawn for now, I will switch my rook to the d4 pawn and you are lost. Because you can't push, the pawn is pinned. Okay, Magnus like, understand Vidit, I'll wait with h3. So Vidit now makes not the best move. He goes queen c6. And this is where Magnus has his opportunity. Because after e4, here, very powerful move, de. Now if d5 there is queen b6 check, but fe, it seems like you are losing a pawn after knight e4. But there is a very, very strong move here for white. What is it? d5, absolutely. The pawn to d5. Now if you take knight d2, I go dc6 and the knight is pinned. So that cannot be played. So you go queen e8, which is the only move in this position. But then comes queen e1. Very, very interesting move. This is pinned. Now you have to play f5. And this is all the calculation that, oh my god, did Magnus really play it? Well, Magnus bhai, pranam. Pranam. What a play. What a play. Too good. I was just calculating this out of like, the best line of the engine. But Magnus plays it. Vidit chops it off. Now d5. Has he pushed? Not yet. What a game going on. d5 played by Magnus. Okay. Vidit, no. Okay, Vidit has one more option instead of queen e8, which is the more active queen c5. Queen d4. Queen d4, rook d4. Attacking the rook, the knight and the pawn. Then you go f5, which is the only move to defend your knight. Otherwise, you are losing. Then he goes maybe rook c4. Is it possible or no, not? Yeah, rook c4. And okay, life goes on. Life goes on. But let's see. What does Vidit do? Does he play queen here? Does he play queen here or here? Where does he put his queen? Vidit is thinking here. Okay, by the way, look at how Daniel Naroditsky is attacking Gukesh. ठीक है, पहले सब हमने देखा है. Gukesh got a bishop pair, then he went e5, d5, 97, queen d2, bishop h6, bishop h6 not the best, g4, hg, h5, and now Gukesh has to find this. Oh, भाई गुकेश के पास ओनली मूव है यहाँ पे बचने के लिए. ओनली मूव. व्हाट इज द ओनली मूव फॉर गुकेश? वेयर इज गुकेश? देयर ही इज लुकिंग, ही इज थिंकिंग रियली हार्ड. एंड लुक एट विदित, हाउ इज ही थिंकिंग. विदित हैज लाइक completely this, he's just calculating so deeply. My god, I really need to go to that position because the emotions are so heavy. Magnus thinking this way, Vidit thinking this way, Magnus smiling now, Vidit fully focused. Vidit just wants to make sure he doesn't blunder because this is, playing Magnus. Everyone wants to give their best. Soumya Ranjan Mishra says, Sagar, why looking so cute? Are Soumya Ranjan, thank you. Yeah, going back to Gukesh's game, did anyone find this move? Alps Harsk. Well done, Alps Harsk. Because, oh, Gukesh doesn't find it. Gukesh blunders. Because the move was knight f5. And the main point is that after ef, you play gf. Threatening f4. And if he plays f4, maybe take here, and play f4. And black is in the game with a very crazy position on the board. But he went f6. Now this move is, I mean, Naroditsky can go here, here, and here. And if you were to take here, I go queen e3, takes, and hg6. Because now the threat is rook h8, king h8, queen check, and mate. Why is Magnus laughing? Everyone's wondering. Let's have a look at Magnus's game. Knight c3 in Vidit game will work, says Trader's Tale. If you play knight c3, what about rook e7? Rook e7, then there's knight d1, right? Or there's queen c5, and maybe there's trouble there. So yeah, d takes c6. If you play knight e2, I have queen e2. If you take this, I'll take this. If you take this, I'll take this with c7, c8. Yeah, very interesting. So knight c3, dc, rook d2, rook e d2, knight d1, rook d7. That's again a very nice move. So that's why I think Vidit here is actually considering this very seriously. All these different possibilities like knight c3. Because if you look at this line, it's not so simple. Knight c3, dc, rook d2, and now you must play this rook. Sorry, this rook. If you take this, there is knight e2 check. So you take this, and here you might think, oh, it's all equal. What's the big deal? I mean, this is winning. This should be draw. Rook d1. I'll play my rook to c7. We'll end in a draw. But if you miss this move, rook d7, you are done and dusted. This is coming, and this is queening. So one very good question, by the way, who asked knight c3? Trader's Tale. Very good. Very good. By the way, Vidit now 7 minutes down, but you know, if Vidit and Vidit actually finds the best move here, queen c5 check, queen d4, and after take, you know, there were many pitfalls, but Vidit sort of tiptoed around it and has reached the right decision. So that is very good. Now let's see if this game he can fight for a draw, because okay, I don't see black winning this, but also for Magnus to win this against Vidit is not going to be easy. Oh, d6. So the thing is, now if I go rook d6, there is rook d6, knight d6, rook e7. Yeah, that's hanging. But rook e6 may be played. Oh, and look at this. Daniel Naroditsky beating Gukesh here completely. And Vidit goes rook e6. Good move by Vidit. Attacking d6 pawn. Has by any chance, okay, Anish sort of, I would say, slightly better still. Good chances, pawn up. Harikrishna drew with Grandelius, so Harikrishna puts an end to his day, which is not a great one. And now 94 played by Magnus. Okay, as with it, let's think. I think I would take with the pawn. Why should I take with the rook? Because rook takes, rook e, fe, and king f2, king e3. So I would rather take with pawn, yes. And if you take here, I will take here, you will take here, I will take here, you will take here, and you do here. Draw. Draw. Guys, ये rook endgame draw है, देखो. Mara. Oh, but Magnus is like, but I'm not taking this. I'm taking here. So he takes this. Now, okay, with the pawn up. Okay, take. Why is this a draw? Guys, I'll just want to tell you that it is a draw because even though black's pawns are sort of mangled up, they are all doubled. White is not able to create passed pawns. And if you want to create passed pawns, you will have to push your pawns, which will then result in trades. And if you have to play passively like this, then I can bring my king up and eventually you won't be able to create much play. So Vidit making a confident draw against Magnus. This is my sort of feeling here. I think most likely that's gonna happen. That's going to happen. And also Aditya Mittal here is pushing against Vincent Kaimar, which is a great thing because Aditya has had a tough day today. If he can beat Vincent, that would be huge. Bhai log Arjun Erigaisi again complicating the game. Bhai Arjun क्या ही चेस खेलता है. G6, Hg, Fg, okay, check, rook f7, bishop e5, knight f5. He played knight e4 and Arjun finds knight d4, attacking the queen. Most likely Duda has to take. Look at Duda's posture there. Super focused. Yeah, Aditya is the only IM in the tournament. Okay, firstly the queen is attacked, so you must take. I take back with the pawn. And now as white, what do you try? If you try check, I take it. If you try d6 here, I'll take this pawn. So it's not so simple to figure out what you are going to do. By the way, dosto, we are almost to the end of today's play, and we have right now 2100 likes. Please do like this. Let's make it 3000. We have close to 3000, 4000 people watching. It's 1 in the night. Let's make it at least a few more likes. 5000 लाइक 4000 लाइक कर दो दोस्तों. Arjun is making definitely a small comeback for sure. But you know, if Duda finds take and f4, which is a nice move, then d6 becomes strong because bishop takes g5 cannot be taken. And here Magnus, Magnus pushing. How did Magnus get this? Okay, rook b6. See, guys, learn from Magnus one thing. In the endgame, you can defend. But Magnus is like, I'll always be active. Rook e5, rook b2, rook a5. Rook b6, making Vidit defend. Vidit wants to cut the king off. थोड़ा प्रेशर है, थोड़ा. Travel with Nikhil Roshan. Hi chat, I humbly request all of you to like the stream and take the like counts to 3k at least. Thanking you all in anticipation. Love to Sagar Bhai. Travel with Nikhil Roshan. Thank you so much. Yes, it is a draw. This position is a draw, but it's not like straightforward. I mean, it's not like dead draw. You have to fight for it. You have to fight. Magnus makes you fight. And it's positions like this that Magnus keeps on grinding. He loves to keep playing them. He's like, okay, maybe yes, it's equal, but something I'll do. Here, I'll move my rook here. I'll come here. You know, he'll do stuff. By the way, Duda not so happy with his position, it seems. Like after 94, he's thinking a lot. He's gone down to 3 minutes 30 seconds. And Aditya Mittal here, after d3, a4, knight c2, rook c1, goes rook e2. Okay. In here, very cool. Bishop d4, very nice move. Because if you take bishop d4, knight d4, you can't take knight d4. Rook c8 is not just a check, it's a checkmate. Now, can Aditya Mittal find this very nice move, g5? Because it not only prevents back rank, it also threatens g4. So that's a very cool move, but not so easy to find. Man, Duda is not making his move. He's down to 2 minutes 43 seconds. I think he's confused between whether he should take with the rook or the bishop. That's his problem. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati brings his king down here. Okay. And Gukesh. Okay, Gukesh is lost, but I mean, he's fighting. These youngsters keep fighting on and on. Same with Nadirbek. He's fighting. He's worse. He's pawned down against Anish, but he's fighting. Guys, this is very, very crazy what Duda is doing here. The way he's handling his time is not good at all. It's one of those moments, if you look on Duda's face, he knows that the win is around the corner, but he's not able to clean up his calculations. He's not able to find that final winning blow. And that's why he's trying harder, because it might mean the difference between taking here on d4 with the knight or with the rook, or with the bishop or the rook. So that's why he's thinking very hard. But meanwhile, Arjun Arigaisi very calm on his, just calmly calculating, playing with his hair. And Duda down to 1 minute 25 seconds. That is really not great. Not great. What, Duda, you're down to one. Okay, he plays it. What did he play? Knight f6 check. Oh, but Arjun is now winning. एक सेकंड गाइस, क्या क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ? मार दो, मार दो. Arjun will take like few seconds to just recover from what has just happened. He can take, and then he's taken this. This is hanging. What Duda will take here? Correct. I'll take here. Now he can take on d8. I think Duda has been seduced by this because this is lost. This is lost. He has been seduced by this line. D takes e6. He wants to play this because he realizes that this is hanging, queen is hanging, and he loves it. He loves this and he wanted to make it work. That's why he went for it. Okay, bishop f6, bishop f6. Now Arjun must take this. There's no other choice. Arjun has no choice. Knight e6, de. You know, this is brilliance, yeah? Like, because if you play queen e8, e takes f7, rook hanging here, so check, so you have to take and check. Queen f8, and you just take and you're winning. So bishop f6. Arjun now taking his time. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati. Okay, you know, I would say that Vidit would draw this game against 99 out of 100 players. I could even go and say 100 out of 100. But Magnus is Magnus. Because firstly, what is happening is that these pawns are fixed up, first of all. Secondly, the king is very active. And here maybe Vidit had to play king f6 and stay here. But what he might not have liked is rook king coming here. Then he had to play this sort of accurate variation with him taking here and then Vidit having to take here and this race and all. And Vidit is like, bhai race mein nahi padna hai Magnus ke saath. Let me play king d7. And then if you play here king d4, I will go rook f6. But in doing all of this, white definitely has a pull here. For sure. For sure. By the way, Gukesh has resigned his game against Naroditsky. So Daniel Naroditsky getting a very important win. And he must be very pleased with the way he played here. Ooh, Anish. This should be a draw. Opposite colored bishops. One pawn down should not be much. So Anish will draw this. Nadirbek will hold it. Meanwhile, Arjun Erigaisi's game, what has happened is after DE, he played queen b6, e takes f7, king takes f7, bishop c3. But now, I mean, in such a position, I see that all the trump, I mean, Arjun will hold this without difficulty. How the position has changed totally. I think that Arjun here, Duda did not like this take such a position. But if he played this way, he really had no chances of losing this position. Maybe c3, but then there's rook d3, cb2, there is king d1. So I'm a bit surprised as to why Duda played this way. Very surprised. Bishop c3 on the board. a4. Okay, he goes check. And did you see, guys, how Magnus very slowly improved his pawns? Like they were here, one pawn up, one pawn up. He's just improved his position very calmly. Check king e5. Okay. Maybe rook f6 back is the best. Let's look at Aditya Mittal. How is he doing? So here after rook e2, by the way, he played this. Aditya didn't find g5. He took ba. Very interesting position. You take here, I take here. You take here, I take here, and I queen. So, but okay, take here, take here, take rook e1. Check. Okay, got it. So ba, rook e4, knight f5, rook c5, rook b1, h5, knight d6, rook e6. Aditya playing really well, fighting really hard. King g6, rook b1. What an intense game. Knight f3, knight d2 check incoming. Aditya Mittal. Oh, rook d1. Now knight d2 is winning. Knight d2 is winning because after king g2, there is rook d5 pinning here. Aditya Mittal might just beat Vincent Keimer here. He must calculate it carefully, but I think he will be able to manage this. Can Aditya beat the strong strong German GM? What about Vidit's game? So, Magnus Carlsen now converting this. King d4, rook g4, and Vidit had to go backwards because he's threatening here. But Vidit went rook f6. Magnus went in with his king c5, and now it's over. भाई मैग्नस कार्लसन क्या ही बंदा है यार. Rook f4, what a move. If you take, then these two pawns fall and you make a queen. So you see the speed at which white pawns will move here are too high, and this will queen. So that's the reason why Vidit cannot take that rook. But if he doesn't take the rook, he must make way for it, and the rook enters here, and then he takes these two pawns. Rook d6 played, rook f7 on the board, and you can see Vidit is visibly upset because from an equal endgame, he has now gone into a lost endgame. He's shaking his head, and Magnus Carlsen once again showing why he is the god of endgame, guys. The ultimate god. What a game. Yeah, Magnus can just do this over and over again. h6, 2 pawns stronger than 1. Vidit visibly upset because he was so close to a draw. Clearly that was a drawn position, that rook endgame. But somehow Magnus moved here and there, he moved his king here. You don't even understand how he does it. Rook g8. Now the king will come here. He will then later on just stop the pawn from here. Oh, meanwhile, Aditya Mittal beats Vincent Keimer. What a big result for Aditya. Check, and this was hanging. And that's a huge one. Huge one. Well done, Adi. That's a great victory for him. And Arjun Erigaisi and Duda drawing the game. Big result there for Arjun as well. Duda shaking his head and Arjun there holding the draw. Wow. Again, a big result for Arjun. Great fight. And here Magnus Carlsen beating Vidit Gujarati in that endgame. What a loss. there for Vidit. Big loss because a draw was within grasp, and here Nodirbek is going to hold this. Yeah, I'll show you the standings, guys. One more game just going on, and then we can look at the standings. We have 7 more rounds to go. Tomorrow 4, day after tomorrow 3, and the top 8 will then move to the quarterfinals of this event. I think this is a draw, so we will factor in those results. Nodirbek still leading. He will get 1 point here. Yes, it's a draw. So is it updated? Yes, it is updated already. Nodirbek drew 17 points. Shakhriyar Mamedyarov on 16. Magnus Carlsen getting 16 points. Duda on 15. Arjun and Gukesh on number 5 and 6. Gukesh, in spite of losing to Daniel Naroditsky, still on number 6. We have Vincent Kaimar on number 7, Anish Giri on 8, Richard Rapport on 9th, Vidit and Aditya Mittal on 10 and 11, and Harikrishna on number 15. That's how things stand here. Top 8 qualified to the knockouts, bottom 8 get eliminated. We have 7 more rounds to go. Tomorrow 4, day after tomorrow 3. Guys, it was an absolute pleasure commentating today. I hope you enjoyed it. I was on the edge of my seats. Anish, hope you're doing well. Anish, take care. Good night, guys. See you all tomorrow. Please do write some comments in the stream when it ends, and also do like the stream. And if you haven't subscribed to ChessBase India, please do subscribe. Bye bye. This is Sagar Shah signing off. See you.